What is up, fellas?
Hey,
What's up, is
dude?
up?
Noah Vergas.
It's good to, you know what? That's
how we're starting.
You know what? That was my fucking nickname all through high school because because I went to I went to a military school and there was down in Roswell and there was a ton of Mexican students there. Like I'm talking like from Mexico.
What?
Ton of Mexicans, right?
You couldn't even let the man get through the intro, bro.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Without bullying him.
I'm not bullying him. We're equal. There's no power balance.
I think it's hilarious because I was like, because in middle school, I've always had super hairy arms, right? So I just got Chewbacca the whole time. I was like, all right, sounds good, but I can live with that. But like, they're not making fun of my name though, so the name thing's fine. Then I get surrounded by a bunch of Mexicans. And like, hey, Vergas, how you doing? I'm like, oh, fuck you.
God,
Fuck you. I'll stick ice on you, bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
It's a term of endearment.
Get the fuck, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
But thank you guys all for being here. Manny and Dan, thank you for coming back. Greg, first timer.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I
Dude,
appreciate it.
Good to meet you. This will come out after the show, but there's a kick-ass show that's going to happen tomorrow night. And it went so fucking well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm so
Best show
tired
ever.
from it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't even break a sweat.
It went amazingly, but I'm really excited for Sister tomorrow night.
Yeah,
that's
me
going to
too.
be a kick-ass show. Dude. So you have like, what, 2 bands, 3 bands that you're in?
currently, just the one.
Because Danakis is a thing, right? Still, right?
The Nankos is not a thing anymore.
Oh, shit,
I don't know
okay.
if they're doing anything else, but I left that band. I think you did too.
Yeah, I left too.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
shit.
now it's just focusing on Lost in a Memory. You know, my thing, which is my alter ego. Check it out. Ooh, I'm lost in a memory.
Which is a great fucking project, by the way.
Thank you.
That
Thank you
last
so
song
much.
you put out, Break My Heart, is sick.
Ah, dude, thank you so much. Oh, that means
It's
a lot.
sick. And are you guys playing that tomorrow night?
We're playing it tomorrow.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's a must. It's a must. I love that song. I grew up listening to alternative rock and like. It's funny because now that I'm older, I've been getting into like the stuff that I should have been, into, like Sleeping with Sirens and like Bring Me the Horizon. So that, those were the right. I was a late bloomer.
It's like they're fucking gay.
That's not what I was thinking. I just made a face. That's all.
I was a Metallica kid. We were Metallica kids, but no, I'm grateful. Greg over here is helping me film the music video, so we're having a lot of fun with that song. And tomorrow, which by the time you guys see this, the show will have already happened, and it was a great show.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chop Chili Company. Guys, they are the original sponsor of this podcast, and I could not be happier to continue to be working with these guys. I get it. It's New Mexico. Everyone loves red, green, both. But this genuinely is my favorite brand of chili here in the state of New Mexico, and I love being able to partner up with these guys. They are absolutely phenomenal. Zane and the rest of the team at Chop Chili do an amazing job running that company, and they make an absolutely phenomenal product. And right now, they are running a very special promotional on their Instagram. Go check them out on Instagram. Go give them a follow. And as they post pictures with the hashtag Where's My Chili Challenge, if you can guess where in New Mexico that picture was taken, you can win not only free red or green chili, but also a free custom t-shirt directly from the company themselves. Again, go check them out on Instagram, give them a follow, check out their hashtag Where's My Chili Challenge. Win yourself some free chili, win yourself some free shirts. They are also available in Smith's, Albertsons, Sprouts, and a ton of other grocery stores in the state of New Mexico, as well as El Paso, and they are expanding out to West Texas. Again, thank you so much to Zane and the rest of his amazing team over at Chop Chili. Back to the episode.
Right, we're kind of doing some time traveling in this podcast. You didn't see that coming, huh? Into the Noah verse, into the only verse.
This is a podcast broken up like a Tarantino movie.
The Tarantino
Yeah.
movie.
You play the passive first, and then you play the first scene last.
I'm excited to see what his last movie is going to be. I'm sad that it's going to be the last one.
That's what he says.
Well, I think it will be.
He's old as hell, dude.
I never believe people when they say they're going to retire unless they're an
He
athlete.
feels like he's
Well,
one of those
yeah, you know
guys
what I mean?
who actually sticks to. He's dedicated to his craft. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
That's
not-
great marketing.
Well, not only that, I think he's one of the last people that make movies that actually loves film, like
Yeah.
actually loves the art of making movies. And he's been touting around for the last 2 years, 3 years, saying that it's the last one. I'm inclined to believe him. And then I think he's going to take it so seriously. I think it's going to be his best movie. because I know everyone says like Pulp Fiction. My personal favorite's Inglourious Bastards.
Mine too.
But I think it's such a damn good fucking movie.
So quotable.
But because it was originally I guess he scrapped the idea, but originally it was going to get called The Movie Critic, and it was going to have fucking everybody.
The one he's gonna.
Yeah, but he scrapped the ideas. Who knows what the fuck it's going to be now?
Okay.
I just hope it's not Kill Bill 3. I pray to God it's not Kill Bill 3.
We
I want a new idea. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need new ideas.
Yeah. You guys gonna see Mufasa?
Fuck no.
I don't know. It looks kind of cute.
Oh my God.
It looks kind of cute. Like a good time,
What's crazy? I can't believe they got those animals to speak English. That's crazy. That is insane.
Great
That is
actors,
good
bro.
training, man.
They have great accents too.
That's
Yeah. No, I mean, what movies are we excited for that
I'm just thinking they all have African accents.
Yeah.
Then you got Seth Rogen.
Is he coming out in this movie?
No, I haven't seen any of those. No.
Because he didn't meet Mufasa as a kid, right? As far as I don't know, they're
No.
probably I don't know.
I don't know the
Lore
lore.
goes,
As a
no.
kid, and that was it.
There's a lot of Disney remakes, like the ones that there's some that make sense. Like the Snow White one looks like pure poop. But
Yeah, it looks fucking like you expect not to sound like a fucking Republican, but listen, you expect me to believe that Rachel Ziegler is hotter than Gal Gadot. What fucking fantasy land?
Who's Rachel Ziegler?
The chick that's playing Snow White.
What she look like?
Ugly. She looks like the
doesn't
main
look like Gal
dude.
Gadot, that's for sure.
Gal Gadot's not a good. No, she's not an actress.
She
She can kind of play Wonder Woman, and then she plays Gal Gadot.
she's a
Yeah.
great actor. Well, she's not okay.
Are
I'll
you
take that
sure?
back. She's
She's
good.
not. Are you sure?
She's
She's not,
good.
Noah.
I think she's good.
She's
I think
gorgeous,
she
and that's
she's
okay.
decent. She's a decent actress.
She was phenomenal as Wonder Woman, except for the sequel. The sequel was dog.
Kal-El, no.
So I haven't seen it, Manny. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil. Don't spoil
He even has the Justice League freaking.
Yeah,
poster.
okay, that line was not good. Okay, the line wasn't great.
Kal-El, no.
But no, I don't believe that a chick that looks like the main fish from Shark Tale is hotter.
Be nice.
Is hotter than fucking Gal. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not true.
Is she less good looking than the witch with the apple? Who's the witch with the apple?
No,
That's supposed to be Gal Gadot.
No. There's another witch because there's the. Oh, it's supposed to be right.
She
Like
transforms
yeah.
into the
Oh, that's
witch.
right. That's
Yes.
right.
Okay, now that's a problem.
I saw
Okay.
part of the trailer
Snow White should
today
be
and
hotter
I
than
tuned out. I was like, I think it came out today, the trailer or something. And yeah, no, it doesn't catch my eye. The Lilo and Stitch, that one makes sense.
Wait,
it's,
they're remaking that one?
yeah,
And the
live
live
action.
action,
yeah.
Dude, it's been like
bro, why?
23 years since the original
like-
came out.
listen,
That makes sense.
It's like I see the principle of it, and I see what they're going for. Outside, obviously, it's
Me
a cash
too,
grab,
yeah.
right? It's a cash
yeah,
grab.
yeah.
But it's like I remember watching those movies as a kid and thinking like this would be cool. Like, what would it look like as live action? Like that would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But then also now that I'm adult, when I rewatch those movies, there's a magic that gets captured in animation that you're just never going to have in live action. But that's kind of the whole point. Right, like there's a magic to those old Disney movies and the Pixar ones too. I'm sure they're gonna start remaking those. Oh yeah. But like, there's a magic to that. Like, I don't want to like my favorite Pixar movie series is Toy Story. I don't want to see a live action Toy Story.
oh,
No.
You
know,
sure?
It will have.
You want to see one?
I don't.
I'll show you one.
No, thank you. No, thank you. It'd be
Right
horrible.
here. Oh, there's a snake in my boot.
Yeah, no, it'd be fucking terrible. Like, and then so I watched the first trailer for Snow White. And all of the dwarves are like semi-animated or some shit.
They're Uncanny Valley.
all
They're
CGI.
borderline, I
It's
think.
Well, did you see the original set pictures that got leaked when they had like the
Yeah,
actors?
they had like actual actors.
So they had actors for it, but there was only one midget out of all of them, and it wasn't even fucking Snow. It was like Snow White. It was Snow
That was for
White.
the Finding Nemo remake. That wasn't Snow White.
It would look like Snow White and the Seven Homies. Like it is.
Snow White and the Seven Fools.
Oh, I've seen that one on the hub. It's,
Oh, I'm sure you have. Yeah. Oh, I'm
Snow,
sure.
Snow White and a jury of one's own peers.
No wonder she's brown now. That makes sense.
Hey,
Hey,
you can
wait
use
a
that
minute.
one. Here you go.
Yeah.
Snow Brown. No, but yeah, so I guess, blatant cash grabs, but then like the Moana one, like that one's just confusing because Moana 2 just came out.
Yeah, and they're
this
making a
month.
live action.
And they're making a live action of the first one, even though it's been like 8 years. It's been a while, but at the same time, it's like, and it's The Rock again, and it's like
I'm so sick of the fucking Rock.
He's in everything.
Wait, I can't say that. I think, but
no, say that. Who gives a
His
fuck?
name's Dwayne Johnson. Is that what you're gonna say?
Well, no, what were you gonna say?
yeah,
Be
what
offensive. Who gives a fuck?
No, like
What was
titties,
that fucking Disney villain laugh?
no,
I'm afraid to be racist.
He is not.
I am
What?
not race. No, I'm just-
What
no,
are you-
Things happen when you get a girlfriend, I guess. You know what I mean? Like all the funniness just leaves your body.
no.
Wait, who got?
It just,
Oh.
it just. I've done some stuff for Disney, you know, and so it's like I don't want to talk too much shit, but I'm gonna talk so much shit because I was just kidding. No, that was just a joke. Dwayne plays the
Rock
same.
Johnson.
Well, I mean, it's public, you know, by now. Everybody says that. He plays the same freaking.
Well,
He
not
plays
only
himself.
that, but in his contract, he has it where he's not allowed to lose.
A
Yeah, I
fight.
saw that.
Isn't that crazy? Like
He wrote that like in pen
And,
after
like,
he's
for
like,
the-
and I can't.
And he wrote that in
lose a
giant
fight."
crayon like this.
Especially
I can't lose.
to Vin Diesel. they weren't even in the same room when they filmed the whatever Furious movie where
Yeah.
they were together. They that's how big their egos are that they just refuse to be with each other.
Well, not
I
only
think they just
that.
rub each other's heads after.
Well, do
shooting.
you just remember like all the shit that he talked about that last Fast and Furious movie, and then when things were clearly going horrible with Warner Brothers, he pops up in the post-credit scene. Like, come on, dude, you're a fucking sellout. Like,
Wait,
stick to
Paul-
your fucking word. If you
Wait,
really
post credits or what?
so in that last
Shazam?
No, the last Furious movie they made where they sent Ludacris to space.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty ludicrous.
Look how they massacred my boy. Now they're in space.
Do you think they're gonna do
What
time
happened to Tokyo?
travel?
Tokyo's legit.
I
Now
hope
they gotta go to
so.
space.
Time travel Furious, bro. I think like when you take like
Yeah,
these-
they'll go back in time and desecrate the fucking grave of Paul Walker. And they're gonna do donuts around his fucking grave.
There we go. They
Paul
time
Walker
travel
is
back.
back.
They time travel back to like Prohibition. They have like the boxcar racers. And, see, and there goes Vin Diesel. Man, out on the track.
Man, minorities are driving. Man.
Whoa, that's Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I'm Moana 2 coming around the corner.
I am not allowed to lose. Come, put him on. Put him on.
He has to win this race. Nah, it's in his contract. Sorry.
Get the horses. Get the horse carriage.
Ah.
Full family. I don't
sorry.
have friends. Old champ.
Coming this summer.
This summer.
Nah, see.
Coming to a theater near you.
Sometimes I'll just do that voice. Just by myself, just
That's
to
fair.
make myself laugh. Nah.
It's just
Gotta watch the dishes, see.
it's those themies, bro. Like we walk into your house and you're just there like talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that happens. Every band practice.
Yeah.
Same here. I was just
don't.
on the oh, you were just kidding me too.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, but to answer your question about movies that I'm excited for, there's not a lot. There's Nosferatu coming out in like a week.
I heard good things about
I'm
it.
excited about that because
Yes.
Robert Eggers is a fucking kick-ass director.
He's a G.
He's great.
Going back to your saying about like Quentin Tarantino, I think Eggers one of the
Yeah.
latest recent like filmmakers.
Because he's the
that.
guy. I always get him and Ari Aster mixed up, but like he's the one that did The
Midsommar.
Witch.
Oh.
Well, Eggers did The Witch,
Yeah,
right? And
and
then
The
he did
Lighthouse,
Lighthouse.
which
Lighthouse
I-
was crazy.
I fucking love
I heard
that
it's
movie.
good.
It's a trip.
It's amazing.
It's literally it's just Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe getting hammered for like an hour and a half, but it is one of the trippiest. Like Robert Pattinson has a fantasy about a mermaid, and then like he beats the fuck out of a seagull. Like it is the weirdest fucking movie I have ever seen.
Is that the one that they filmed in black and white and like
Yes.
4x3 or
Yeah.
1x1? What?
Yeah,
I need to watch that.
it is a trip, dude.
It's amazing. So yeah, Nosferatu. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm excited
Alright.
for that.
Damn. Let's go
But
watch it.
other than that, it's just all corporate fucking
Yeah.
just this. It's a sequel after a remake after a redo, and I'm just. I hate to sound like that guy because I fucking love. I used to really love superhero movies.
Same.
But the
We're all there.
downfall of Disney is insane. It like I other than Deadpool 3, just 'cause I had to go watch. Like I knew it was gonna be crazy. Like
Yeah.
Johnny Storm showing up and Wolverine is back. But other than that, like. I haven't seen a fucking Marvel movie in theaters in a minute before that. I didn't go see the Marvels, and then I couldn't
one
watch.
did.
I couldn't watch half those fucking Disney Plus shows.
I tried every single one and I couldn't get through most of them.
Like the only ones I saw all the way through were the Winter Soldier. That was cool. Loki was sick, and then Moon Knight.
Okay.
I think that was. I think that was
yeah.
it. Because like I tried to do Miss Marvel, couldn't hack it. Oh, I liked Hawkeye. That was fine.
Yeah.
That was perfectly fine. But like the first like half of the Scarlet Witch one, WandaVision, that was fun for like 5 episodes, and then they completely fucked up Ralph Boner or whatever the fuck that was.
Ralph Nader.
Yeah, where it
Ralph,
turned
yeah.
Quicksilver into a joke. It's like,
A boner joke.
Yeah, I was like, fuck you. Like, that's just disrespectful. And then, and like, Doctor Strange was super disappointing, too.
Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah.
I don't remember it. That's how great it was. I don't remember.
Like, there was one good moment
I
where,
can shoot
like,
stars. That's
well, yeah. Like, what's her name? When Wanda's starting to lose her mind a little bit, and she's walking around the house, and that's when, and it gets really Sam Raimi for like 7
She's
minutes.
like breaking her
bones,
and
Like,
that was cool.
That was cool.
That was
but
cool.
the rest of it was just like they called it Multiverse of Madness, but they went to like 2 different worlds. like fuck you. Like that's not madness.
2 neighboring universes.
It was so
They're
boring.
right
down the
to each
street
other.
though, so because we don't want to go that far. But I mean, me and this guy, we have a tradition where we go see all the. Did we go to like for the? We went to go see Deadpool, right?
Yeah? You don't remember, huh?
Yeah, no, I.
Wow. Wow, Manny.
It's just they blend
Oh,
together.
Denzel was
after a
there,
while.
too.
Who was there? No, it was me, you, Lorenzo, right? And
Greg.
and Greg. I guess.
Fucking brown on brown violence right here.
But like all the other ones, like we went to watch, Multiverse of Madness, and I was so disappointed. Ant-Man,
Oh my
Sucked.
God. That was-
I forgot that
seen it.
happened. That was horrible.
my
I just don't even
God.
see them because
But,
I know
like,
they're going to be bad.
These are multi-billion-dollar companies, and like you think they have way better like quality control. Like, do they not watch their own movies, or are they so like far up their own assholes that they're like, yeah, this is good. Like the fans will like they're gonna come and they're gonna come out and
Just to check it out.
to check it out, but right away the fans are gonna be like, hey, this was garbage. Don't go watch this shit. And I'm glad that a lot of those movies have flopped. Like, I watched the Marvels at home. I think that was the first MCU movie that I skipped in probably like a decade, that I didn't go to the theater. That one and Eternals. And the Marvels, I get it. It's kind of cute. It has its like endearing moments, like when you watch a little kid like say something funny. It's like ha ha ha. You will laugh, but it's like.
This is the nicest way of saying it sucked.
It sucked. It was not worth the price of admission. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I'm glad that these are flopping.
But which is crazy because I didn't mind the first Captain Marvel. I thought it was perfectly
It was not
fine.
bad.
But
It's
that was
fun.
that was $1 billion movie. Now, granted,
billion-dollar
people saw that movie because it was sandwiched in between Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
They needed something. I need the Marvel.
Yeah, well, you need to see what happened next. Where it's like, how's this going to tie in? But other than that, like it was,
it didn't really.
But not really. But it was $1 billion movie, and I think the sequel topped out at like 400 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what a
flop.
fucking
Wow.
drop off.
Yeah. So it's like I said, like it's good that they're flopping now because like, haha, fuck you to Disney or Marvel. But it's like, hey, like come on, like we're not stupid like the fans, and like maybe they try to appeal to like the kids, but the kids are us.
Everybody.
We are the kids.
They want to like appeal to everybody.
Because you would think the roadmap would be okay. We have an audience in Iron Man 1, and then like Iron Man 1 through Avengers, you clearly built an audience. It's like, okay, well, yes, there's adults buying this, but it's a lot of preteens and teenagers.
And man children.
If we're gonna, well, yes, but if we're gonna grow up and if we're gonna keep doing this for 10 years, these kids are gonna grow up. Like the 16-year-old is gonna eventually be 26, and so on and so forth. So you would think they would get a little more mature, and they would start getting a little like they would follow the audience.
Yeah.
But they stuck to the same template, and you stuck with it. It's like I want to see how it happens to the Avengers, and it was a great story. But then after that, they just didn't change it. It stayed the fucking same, if not worse. It's incredible that the same studio that did Infinity War, which is one of the best comic movies ever made, in my opinion.
for sure.
Phenomenal. This is the same studio that pumps out the Marvels. Or that pumps out Ant-Man. Like that fucking George Lopez ass fucking from the Spy Kids. What's his name? The
Antonio
MODOK.
Mr. Yeah.
Antonio Banderas.
No.
Mr. Electric.
Oh my God, it's the director, right? You're talking about?
No. So like, you've seen the Spy Kids where it's George Lopez's big ass head, that CGI?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's
yeah.
exactly
That's
what
his head.
fucking MODOK
Yes.
looked like. It was
Like,
so
who
bad.
approved this? There has to be like there's suits that approve that shit. Creative directors, all kinds of stuff. Kevin Feige, god damn it, Kevin,
So what I
let
think.
me down.
Well, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think they're just getting too big, and they want to. I think they're just trying to do too much while appealing to like nobody.
Yeah, when
Like I said, you know
a
what I
friend of everybody's a friend of nobody. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can't make everybody happy, but know who you're making happy, which is most of America, and stick to that. And like my theory is that so the head guy, Bob Iger, he left, and they brought in this guy named Bob Chapek. And his directive was like right when WandaVision was coming out. He was like, "We're gonna have Marvel content at all times, whether it's the TV shows or the movies. There will always be a new Marvel thing." And you think about what was so special in that first 10 years was there were only like, I think at most there were 3 movies a year, but especially in the first like 7 years, there were only like 2. So it was like a fucking event. Like you had to go see the next chapter. What's gonna happen? And I was like, oh, I guess I'll just catch the next one. I guess.
I was like, fuck, I gotta go watch the Marvel, see how it ties in with the Kang the Conqueror, whatever.
And he decided to go beat his girlfriend, and I was like, well, I guess we get Robert Downey Jr. back.
Well, all right.
Like, hey, Robert, I got another suitcase full of cash. Like, how about 3? Fine.
No, a dump truck full of cash, dude. He's getting $80 million.
Oh, that's
Holy
it.
shit.
Yeah, what? That's it.
That's it.
For one movie?
He's getting. I think he's getting $80 million over the 2, over Doomsday and Secret
not
Wars.
bad.
That's
at all.
That's too much money.
I'd show up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'll
Like,
I get-
I'll ruin the sanctity of my movies for that, right? Yeah, I'll ruin Iron Man. For
No,
that
but
shit.
for him,
honestly,
get that money.
I think he's gonna do great. I mean, it's Robert
No.
Downey Jr. Bro, he cannot go wrong. I have
he can.
faith.
There's
Dude,
not, it's
dude, what's
outside
the-
of his power.
What's
has
the
gone.
There's
first?
nothing he can do.
Think about the first movie that he was in after Endgame. Doctor
Dr.
Dolittle.
Dolittle.
Yeah. I saw it. I'm just kidding. I didn't see it.
God, fuck.
I seen part of it.
I heard it was dog shit. I get it. He was in Oppenheimer and he was amazing. But that was also made by Christopher fucking Nolan.
But
Okay.
we got the Russo brothers back, bro.
Okay, so out of
Okay.
the Avengers,
I
outside of the Avengers, what good movie have they made? Every movie they've
I'll
made
get back to you on that.
has been dog shit.
Wait, for
Winter
real?
Soldier, Captain America 3.
No. Like, so
Outside
after
of
the
the
Avengers were
after
done.
the-
Oh,
After
outside
the
of the
Avengers were done. Like,
Oh,
I was-
after.
It's like a curse, right? Because like Chris Evans too, you watch what he's doing and shit.
It's
and you're
horrible.
Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
It's
Like,
all bad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that movie they just came out with the Jack Santa Claus.
Oh,
the
Oh,
Big
that
Red.
it's bombing.
Yeah,
Red one.
it
Red
fucking
line, red one,
Red
Red
one.
one.
No, red one.
Not to be confused with
Red Tube? What?
There was another one, Red something, where The Rock also appeared. I thought it was a sequel.
That's
man.
the same movie.
What the fuck?
No, there was another one. Like there's the red.
Red Adam.
Right now, there's Red one, and then there was one with Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and
Oh, the Red.
Oh, you're right.
Oh,
The
you're
Red?
Like
correct.
red
Something-
light or something.
Red something on Netflix.
Red Notice.
Red
Red
Notice.
Notice,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I thought this was like, oh, it's a sequel, but wait, now there's like polar bears and shit. So it's
All
like,
bobtails ring.
and again, like Dwayne the Rock Johnson he's playing the same fucking shit. So, anyways,
I never lose a fight.
That's exactly it. Like that movie, I think Dwayne Johnson for himself, he allocated like $30 million to pay himself for that movie, and the whole movie only made like $100 million
God damn.
on a budget of like 300.
yeah. And then the movie has to make 2.5, I believe, times its budget
Yeah.
to at least break even.
Break,
like
to
not
break
even
the
like
production and the marketing.
The
costs
marketing,
and, yeah.
exactly, because whatever public budget you see for a movie, you have to tack on at least 150 to like 200 million.
moving it too much.
What, the mic?
Yeah.
Yell
Mike
at
too.
Mm.
I can hear it.
I make music for a living, okay?
Actually, is that 120 BPM that you're moving the microphone at? Anyway, sorry,
I'm a
that
musician. I make music for Disney.
It sounds like you're banging on the bottom of the. Wait, what are you doing on there?
I'm just holding it.
So, I don't know.
Mickey Mouse would be mad at you.
Lord Mickey, bro. Put some
Why'd you be talking
respect
shit?
on me. Put some respect.
I'm sorry, Manny interrupted you.
What
Noah,
if,
go.
I forgot what I was gonna say, bro. What I will say is fucking one of my favorite Mickey Mouse interpretations is South Park.
Oh yeah.
When the purity, have you seen that in the purity ring episode? I heard that we have a problem. You wear the fucking purity rings so that we can market this to little girls. He's like curb stomping Nick Jonas.
Bro, oh my god. Yeah.
That was a good impression, by the way.
That was that was spot on, dude.
I just hate Disney so much now. with just
I can tell,
yeah,
dude.
it's just disappointing. All right, they were like the flagship thing, and the biggest stain on them was that Walt Disney, yes, known anti-Semite, but it is what it is. And then that he,
That's what it is.
it is what it is. We all have our faults. like we're all quirky. Like it is what it is.
Quirky, that's a good way to put it.
Some of us leave the fridge open overnight. Some of us are anti-Semitic.
Some of us have a
Yeah.
floating head frozen. Some of us don't.
So that's one of my favorite conspiracies about Disney is that they made Frozen so that when you Google Walt Disney Frozen, that it's no longer the Frozen
it just
head,
goes to the movie.
it's the movie.
I still look for the head, though.
Dude,
Yeah, well, don't we all? Don't we all? Aren't we all just looking for head every now and again?
Hey.
Like, isn't that
Thank you. Good night. Okay.
how to get head in 2024, 2025.
Disney.
yeah, sell it to Disney apparently?
Disney head.
But they were like the flagship company. Like that's how you make movies.
Yeah.
And now it's like again, they're just scraping for cash. And it's insane because you have them, they're about to die if they keep going on with this DEI bullshit. And then you have Warner Brothers. Apparently Warner Brothers is like $300+ million in the hole.
Million or
Heard
billion?
about that.
Million.
Million.
Wow.
Million.
3.5 million?
Yeah. In the hole, like in real debt, where it's like, no, we're not taking out loans to make the movie or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
we're just not recouped because like all their superhero movies fucking tanked because they're dog shit.
Yep.
They're
Yeah.
all bad. And then
Nobody watched Alfred.
Alfred, what the fuck is that?
Exactly. They made a show about Alfred.
Oh,
on
yeah.
HBO Max.
Right.
Exactly. They make a bunch of
Hollywood.
expensive shit that no one really asked
Pennyworth.
for.
That's what it was called.
Pennyworth.
Oh, that's
Pennyworth.
right.
Pennyworth.
Yes, you're
Yes.
right. Excuse me. But it's like, who asked for this? Like, no, they. You know what it was? It was Guardians of the Galaxy because no one knew who they were. I didn't know who they were. And then Marvel came out with a movie about them, and it's a great movie, well written. And then it's like they became flagship characters. So then both DC and Marvel thought, oh, let's get Big Wheel, let's get fucking Rodent Man his own fucking movie.
Polka Dot Man.
Let's go Polka Dot. Let's like Condiment King his own fucking.
Well, that's the funny thing is, so you look at that first Suicide Squad movie that came out, and dog shit. It was funny because I was so blinded by my love for like that version of Batman and the Flash. Like, oh, the fucking Batman showed up. Oh, and I was like, but you rewatch it, you're like, oh, this is not. What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad? Like, fuck you.
He said the thing.
Like, fuck you. Or like my favorite line.
Hey, it's Margot's ass.
My my favorite line in that movie is when they're loading onto the plane and Rick Flag is at the the boarding part of the plane and Katana walks up and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is Katana. Stay away from her. Her sword steals the souls of its victims." It's like, dude, fuck off. Please fuck off.
And now she matters in the movie.
Right, exactly.
And
The
they're like,
second
what-
Suicide Squad was pretty good.
Oh, the Suicide
but it-
Squad?
Yeah.
The
It was
Suicide
good.
Squad.
That
was
But
fine.
it didn't make shit because it was
Yep.
like right in pandemic. Like I
Yeah.
remember like they dropped it on streaming right away. It's like everything else. I think that's the only example I can think of a good DC movie.
Yeah, movie wise lately, yeah, because the Flash, like the first 30 minutes of the Flash is fine. It's not horrible, but it's fine. It's just fine. And I hate the Ben Affleck suit they gave him. They managed to make the blue on gray look horrible, which you have to go out of your way to do that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's one of the best Batman suits in comics. Is the old school like from the 70s, the
Yeah.
Neil Adams gray and blue cape, and
like
they
the
turn-
one piece head with the
Yeah.
shoulder cowl thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's one of the best bat suits you could have, but they ruined it. And then they fucking made the CGI babies, and that was terrible. And then the end of that movie is just so fucking disrespectful to DC. Like, have you guys seen The Flash?
Yeah.
Okay,
It took me 3 sittings.
so at the very end
I
of
like how you hold up 4 fingers.
That's how bad it was.
it took me 5 days.
It took me
to enjoy it.
this many sittings.
I have 4 reasons.
that's fucking
why I don't like
APS
that.
education right there, dude.
Did I really do that?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not very coordinated.
Catch him live playing music, ladies and gentlemen.
Some road sodas.
It's okay. It's okay.
But they so
All
at
right,
the-
take 2, guys.
So at the end of the movie, they have all of and it's actually in concept, it's not a bad way to show the multiverse. Like the CGI is iffy, but I gave it a pass on the CGI because the way it was totally 100% computer generated. There's no practicality, but it's a cool way to show it. I will say that. Like it's a very cool way because it was right out of Crisis on Infinite Earths with like all the planets spinning and crashing. Like it's actually, if you want to look it up on YouTube to watch it, it's actually not bad.
Was that the CW
Uh,
event?
No, so they did that.
Or are you talking about
on
the comics?
That was
like,
cool.
in the comic books.
Oh, okay, all
They
right,
made
yeah.
it look like the comics. It was actually kind of neat. But what happens is they start showing like peeks into the world, but it's even the characters. So there's like a CGI Nick Cage Superman that shows up. And it's kind of cool to look at in theaters for the first time. That's like, oh, it doesn't look all that great. And then there was a CGI Christopher Reeve and the Supergirl, and I was like, ooh, that's a little disrespectful.
That is
And then
disrespectful,
they
man.
show a CGI version of the 1940s George Reeves Superman. And so if anyone, do you guys know the story behind
He's
that guy?
been dead long enough.
But do you know why he's dead or how he died? So he was a theater actor that got his big TV break as Superman. And he thought that after that his career was going to take off and he was going to be the shit, but it didn't. He made a bunch of horrible projects afterwards, and everyone only knew him about Superman. And he was a super passionate actor, and he was also an alcoholic, and it weighed on him, and he blew his head off with a shotgun. And ever since then, the family has been a huge proponent of like, hey, we'd really appreciate it if you didn't re-release his stuff. Don't reprint it on like Blu-ray or DVD. Like, if you want to put it on like on YouTube or streaming, whatever, but we'd like it if you didn't make money off of our family member, like our grandfather, great-grandfather, because he would not like this. So then it zooms in on him as Superman, where he's like, bum, ba, da, bum. And it's like, damn, so you guys don't give a fuck,
wow.
do
They
you?
just wanted that
You
money.
don't give a fuck.
It's like that scene in Jurassic Park where it's like, you assholes, well, I'm paraphrasing, right? But like, you assholes didn't stop to think, what is it?
Like whether you should or not. No, you.
What are we, some sort of
something
Jurassic
like-
Park?
And I love that
No,
movie.
but, like,
God damn it.
just- yeah,
Oh,
no,
you were
like-
too preoccupied whether you can, but you didn't stop to think whether if you
you should.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Right.
a lot of those cameos, because like, yeah, like, all right, cool. Like the Nicolas Cage one, for example, that was cool. If you're a hardcore nerd, you know,
Yeah.
about like the whole like Nicolas Cage fighting a spider story,
Yeah.
Superman Unbound, Unchained, or Reborn, whatever the hell
Yeah.
it was supposed to be called, the Cancel Project. All right, I understand that, but then you're bringing back like these dead actors just because you can.
Yeah.
And like, I guess like that was part of like, it also started the whole conversation about like the AI
Well, because what happened?
likenesses.
So what happened? Thank you for bringing that up, because
Yeah.
there's this quick shot of a version of the Flash.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
looks like
Jay
Jay
Garrick.
Garrick, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
nobody could figure out who that was, like actor wise, who that was supposed to
Yeah.
be.
They thought it was a dude from the CW,
Right.
the Arrowverse.
Right? They thought it was the
Handsome
like,
guy, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, because there was two. Yeah,
Well, there was a few in that one, but it was supposed to be like the guy who was the villain at the end of it, right? Mm-hmm. It was Zoom, right?
Yeah.
It was like maybe it was him, or maybe it was like a version of the comic or a guy out of comic books that they like animated, but and Warner Brothers never said anything about it. So it's like, okay, well, if it does look like an alive actor, should you pay him?
Yeah. Mhm.
Should you not pay? Do you just own the likeness so you don't have to pay him? Like, exactly, you're exactly right. They started the whole conversation like, should AI be in movies? Should AI be in in creative projects in general? Or so I don't know. It's
It's a slippery slope
what a fuck. And then at the end of the movie, they had like 3 ending shot
of the Flash,
of
right?
the Flash, right? Like there was one where it was the entire Justice League, and he ends up with them. And they obviously would never make it in the movie, but it would lead into like Justice League Part 2, or maybe he would go off into the Michael Keaton universe where it was going to be the Batgirl movie that gets set up, or it was the third ending where it was George Clooney. And it's like,
And his nipples.
fuck you, dude. Like it showed. I half expected, because at the end of the movie just shows George Clooney coming out of a limousine. It's like his Bruce Wayne. I half expected him to come out just like, yes, I'm back.
I heard you missed these.
I'm Batman.
It's so fucking bad. Like that movie is so bad. It made people look back at Batman and Robin and be like, "Hey, you know what? Not
It
too
wasn't
bad.
that bad.
1997, not, you know.
Yeah, not too bad.
And I bet you like 10 years from now, not even 20, like 10 years from now, DC's going to make some more horrible shit, and they're going to look back on the Flash and it's like, maybe we were a little too harsh on the
No, the Flash.
No, you don't think it's good?
No,
Yeah.
because here's the difference, right? So you look at something like The Flash. There's clearly no passion in that movie outside of the first, again, like the 20 or 30 minutes. There is no passion in that movie. But then you look at something like Batman versus Superman. They got absolutely trashed when it first came out by critics. But now, after everything DC's made, people are looking back at the rated R version of that movie and they're like, we were a little bit too harsh. We kind of fucked up.
Like, you see critics that have redacted what they said about that movie, like, hey, this wasn't actually that bad or whatever. And so that's like, because that movie had, for all the faults in that movie, that I personally fucking adore that movie, but a lot of people hate that movie. Say that name? Yeah, that's not the best scene in the world.
I was gonna stab you, but
I
now it's in
agree.
my mind.
You know, honestly, I'll say that theater, like, if he skewers Superman right now, baller. Like, horrible version of Batman, because if they don't redeem,
This one kills. Bye.
yeah,
He
right.
kills a bunch of people.
Well,
He
that's-
murders so many.
But see, here's the thing, though. Okay, I'll grant that. I'm very biased. But what I liked about that version of Batman was that if you're going to change a core aspect of a character, right? So obviously Batman killing. If you're going to change that, you need to justify it and you have to redeem him. It's a very big task, but you have to do all that. And they do that. Because the whole Martha scene, not executed that well. But the principle of it is that if he kills Superman, he now becomes Joe Chill, and he's no longer Batman. You've ruined this version of the character. But he doesn't. Now, the method of doing so, But the principle was still there, and at least it's a novel thought for a character that's been around for like 70 years at that point. At least it's something fresh, something different.
Yeah.
But, if he would have fucking skewered Superman, it would have been cool for like 5 seconds, but it's like, that's the Punisher. You know what I mean? It's not Batman. That's the Punisher.
I mean, he still died. Died for a
Right.
bit.
Wait, what?
I'll say, wait a minute.
Spoiler.
I like how Doomsday's looks like a Ninja Turtle.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's great.
Not the best version of Doomsday.
I think that the big two, they're gonna look back at what works, like the Penguin, the live action. People were saying this because I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
watched
I've heard
movies
it's
or anything.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's great.
But they're gonna look at that and be like, okay, that works. And then what they should do is like, okay, for the character, we can't make joke after joke and this after fan service. That doesn't work for every character because different characters have different auras and different kind of narratives and things like that. So
Well, I mean, Superman is from Metropolis, which is bright and happy, and Batman's from Gotham,
which is dark, and
which is
miserable.
Yeah, which is Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Like he's, you know what I mean?
Someone had to say it.
Espanola, okay.
Yeah, well, But yeah, so he's like, that was many natives in Gotham. But that's the dichotomy right there. It's like you can't and I loved Man of Steel, right? And granted, they're doing that character.
right.
They're doing that character in reverse. It would have been a lighter Superman by the end of like that 5-movie arc. But like I understand why, like if you go to a Superman movie and you're depressed by it.
Yeah.
It's like I love that incarnation, but I understand why people are upset. But if they're when they're moving forward now, like, well, first of all, I am not excited at all for fucking Superman with what's his name? Corn Sweat?
James Gunn.
James
Yeah.
Gunn.
James Gunn's
Sounds like a
directing
made-up
it,
name.
right? Yeah.
I'm not excited for that. That does not look very good.
You don't want to see Crypto?
I don't give a dude.
Wait, the dog's in the
Yeah,
fucking...
dude. Yeah, I appreciate like what they're trying to do, but those set pictures, like I can give a little grace. Obviously, it's not what the movie looks like, whatever. But that Superman suit, I have so many problems with that on just an aesthetic look, and also like, why are you? If he's supposed to be like a year 2 or 3 Superman, why does he have the logo of the like? Canonically, I think he's supposed to be like 80-something years old in the Kingdom Come story. And it's like an old Superman who comes back with a vengeance because this new gang of superheroes in town are letting people die. That's the whole point of Kingdom Come.
Yeah,
If you ever,
right.
If you've ever read that story.
It's my favorite
Yeah.
graphic novel.
It's a great story. So
great.
the whole point of it is like all the superheroes that we know have retired. And there's this new group of superheroes that really don't care about civilians dying. So Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, a really old Dick Grayson, and then he's like in his 50s. And then a few other superheroes have to come back to basically show them how to be superheroes. And Superman, he doesn't kill people, but he comes back angry. And by the end of it, he's super lighthearted and back to like the original Superman he's supposed to be. But the first like 3 issues in that book, he's angry, right? So why are you taking that logo and putting it on this Superman that's supposed to be young and fresh,
Learning new
and
things.
right? And like, because it doesn't even look cool. It just looks different for different sake. And if that's what you're hinging your new DC universe on,
yeah.
stop, please stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
No, get some like James.
Not even once.
You want to talk about somebody who's far up his ass? James Gunn,
James
dude.
Gunn.
And granted, I can't hate too much because if I was living his life, his girlfriend's way hot. I mean, granted, my girlfriend's way hotter than I could ever imagine.
I would
but
have a
like,
girlfriend.
but you know what I mean? Like, if I was living his life where I was batting way out of my league relationship wise, I am making amazing movies for Marvel, and then I get poached by the competition.
rival.
That's
enemy.
a crazy.
Not only
life
do I
story, dude.
not only do I
Everybody wants
get
me.
not only do I get poached, but I'm given the keys to the kingdom. Where it's like, do whatever you want. Oh, I'd be like, yeah, I'm the shit. Fuck
Yeah,
all
we're
you
gonna
guys.
buy Disney.
Exhibit A.
You thought the multiverse was crazy now.
With what money? I heard that they're planning like some DC versus Marvel shit eventually. Do you
no
think?
way.
Like what?
But would you? But does that make you excited?
Nope.
Why would
Not
like
even a little
DC
bit.
versus Marvel? If the Snyder stuff like stuck the landing and people loved it the way they, in my opinion, the way they should have, and it continued the way it did, maybe it would have been cool. But we still wouldn't be getting to that realistically until like at least 2 years from now. If it all stayed on the track that it was supposed to, we still would be like 2 years away minimum. But with the way Marvel ended with their old guard leaving, I don't want to see Henry Cavill go up against. Who the fuck would it even be?
Yeah, which they don't have a specific.
Sydney Sweeney.
Well,
Sydney Sweeney as Batman.
causing trouble, see? Right.
this
all right.
this woman's a
talking
part of
like
the plot. Meh. Meh.
I've been had.
That's a sound I make between her titties. Meh. Meh.
Oh man.
But yeah, I don't know. Apparently, funny story about behind the scenes of Madam Web. I guess it's a rumor, but apparently Sydney Sweeney's management team lied to her. And because there was
I heard about that.
because there were like 4 interviews. You can hardly find them now. But in the press tour leading up to the release of Madam Web, there's like 4 interviews where Sydney Sweeney is talking about like, I can't wait for this to cross over with the rest of the Marvel universe. You poor and I can't wait to do movies with Spider-Man. And it's like, you dumb bitch. Have you not?
That's not her fault, though.
Well, but in all fairness,
If assuming that her
she had,
people are just like,
right,
do
but
your
she had to have seen the other Sony non-Spider-Man movies.
not a nerd.
But if like you don't have to be a nerd. If Spider-Man didn't show up in Venom, why is he going to show up in your shitty Madam Web movie?
Hey, what do you guys think
because
about?
she's a girl now.
Well,
Girls don't read comic books. I'm just kidding.
On that note, like
because they can't read. Man,
I didn't. You said that. I didn't say that.
on that note of the Sony Marvel licensed movies, whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
what do you call it?
Yeah, whatever. The trash heap that is that.
Sony verse.
Did you see that they released the first like 8
8
minutes of Craven?
Kraven.
Nice.
They're just trying to really.
It looks so bad. Like
I
I'm
didn't
like,
even watch it. I didn't even watch it.
I
dude.
tried. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's just because like for me, for example, like going way back to the Fast and Furious movies, like I like to take movies for what they are. So first, it's like when the Fast and the Furious turn into fantasy movies, right? People are like, what? They're not about like racing anymore. And I was one of those guys. But then I was like, wait. This is a movie where I can just turn off my
they're
brain.
still fun.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
me personally, when I watch movies, like I dive in, like I'm like, oh, okay, so in this world, right, like
Physics don't exist.
physics don't exist, and you can shoot a man out of like a windshield
Yeah.
across the freeway, and he's gonna be fine.
And you'll
And-
catch her, fall on
Catch
the
her.
car,
And it's
And
fun.
looks so cool doing
yeah,
it.
so it's
fun.
it's fun.
It's just
yeah.
fun.
So I'm cool
Yeah.
with that. So then I'm like, all right, Craven, we know that there's not going to be any fucking substance because it's
Or fun.
Sony. But I expected at least like, all right, cool. Like, let's see some cool stunts or whatever. And you see him climbing out of jail. But like, it's so bad because you can tell like the
it
dude
takes
has
him a
no
few times.
weight. Like the dude is hanging obviously by wires, but they didn't even try to make it look like, oh, gravity exists. He's just like bouncing like that. And I'm like, yep, nope.
Yeah.
Which is sad because Craven is one of the most underrated Spider-Man villains.
Thank you.
Period.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if you want to read a genuinely dark comic, Craven's Last Hunt is nuts. Spoiler alert: he commits suicide at the end because he couldn't beat. He was so dedicated to the ultimate hunt of killing Spider-Man, and when he finds out, because I think it's like the 4th issue he kills.
thinks he kills him.
He thinks he kills him and buries him. But Spider-Man comes back, is in the black suit. And
Because he's Spider-Man, he can't die.
Right, yeah.
Plot armor.
Yeah, plot armor, right? And so, but at the end of the story, Craven commits suicide because he's like, I didn't win. I've always been the best. I guess I have to die now. I'm going to die with honor, and I'm going to be the one that kills me, not Spider-Man. And so from that story, like, he's been fun and fine throughout the comics, but there's nothing been super crazy with him. But then when he's getting his own movie after the fucking Venom shittiness and Madam Web and Morbin Time and all this nonsense.
Morbin time.
All this, how funny is it, by the way? How and I'm not saying this to be offensive. I'm saying this by the most strict definition of the word. How retarded is Sony's marketing team
What
to
is
think...
the definition of the word?
The definition of the word retarded is basically like there are faculties in your brain that are not developing properly. They are they're stunted, they aren't developed, whatever, right? So Morbius comes out and flops, and there's all these memes about Morbin Time. Like, oh, you should re-release the movie. It's Morbin Time. So they decide to re-release the movie.
Yeah. So make money. Yeah.
A wide release again, and it makes like $80,000.
Make like 30 cents.
It probably costs more to ship out the
Yeah.
files to
Yeah.
the theaters again.
Popcorn costs more than Morbius.
What? You really thought this was gonna work?
Well,
They're
it
desperate, you know.
just like to me, like growing up, I always looked, you know, as a kid, I looked up to adults. Adults have all the answers. Then you become an adult, and it's like, what? Like, I don't have all the answers. I
don't know
I'm like,
shit.
But then as an adult, I'm like, I look up to like these executives, and not like I don't look,
look up to
them.
executives?
You look
No,
up
no,
to
no, no, no.
executives?
Don't get it wrong. This don't clip that. No, like
I'll clip it.
Okay, let me rephrase that. As an adult, as a kid, you think that adults are more developed in the
People,
brain.
people
They're
of authority.
competent.
Yes,
And
people
they
of
do
authority.
the right thing.
Yeah,
That's what the
that's
assumption
the
is, yeah.
expectation, right? Like, oh, respect your elders. So as an adult, respect figures of authority that have all this power. And granted, right here
Responsibility.
we're talking, yes, and right here we're talking about entertainment. You know, like it's nothing like extremely serious, like a real world issues, but we're also talking millions of dollars here. And it's like, do you guys not care? Do you guys like actually put? Like, is there anybody with one brain cell in there? Sony, Warner Brothers, and it's looking like Disney almost.
Well, and my whole thing too is like, okay, so there was that whole controversy around Batgirl getting shelved for tax reasons, right?
Yeah.
And you can feel either kind of way about that. There's arguments on both sides. But the argument at the time, if you remember, is that this is so bad, it is going to taint our brand as Warner Brothers, not just DC. This movie is so bad, it's going to bring the entire like empire of Warner Brothers to its knees.
But how?
Right,
Considering
but then
the bullshit they
but
put
then
out.
the
Daffy Duck's gonna
Flash,
die.
yeah. But then the Flash comes out, and it's like it was worse than that. It was, and then, Aquaman too.
It
was
was saying
worse.
Batgirl's worse
Yeah, like
than
how,
Yeah.
how can
Okay.
Batgirl be worse than that?
How is
Yeah.
it? I haven't even seen Aquaman 2, but I've heard like the story beats of it. I'm like, it's worse than that. Like how? There's no way. Like you have to go out of your way to make a movie bad.
Like, you have to be trying.
Like
You have to
Joker
be
2.
passionate.
You thought Joker
Oh,
2
geez.
was released? Did you guys watch Joker 2?
No,
I did.
I don't like the first one. Now that
What'd you think?
Really?
looking back, yeah.
I love the first one personally.
Yeah,
first
the
one's
first one was
great.
cool, but
I don't know.
I would never watch it again because it was depressing. I was like, all right, cool, that was a thing.
Edgelord the movie.
But shouldn't it be though? It's a villain's movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Shouldn't it be? Especially with someone with the Joker, like, and I applaud them for getting at least the story beats of the Killing Joke right. Like for the most part, they got rid of the thing of the pregnant wife, but they got the beats of it, like failed stand-up comedian. He's really poor, starting to lose money, whatever. Like I get
Yeah, that was cool.
part of it.
That was cool.
And yeah, they ripped off Taxi Driver and they ripped off King of Comedy. It is what it is. But you know, at least it was a very well, and that's the thing with Todd Phillips. Like even if you look at like the very first Hangover, if you watch that movie and you just put it on mute, it's still a good looking movie. Like it still looks like it's well made. And the same thing with the Joker, still well made. Joker 2 is so feverishly bad.
Oh, bad, huh?
It is no. So my girlfriend bought us tickets to it because she was like, on principle, we're gonna go watch it. And I was like, all right, fine.
What
I
do you
understand.
wait? What?
Because that was not to get gay here, but that was the first movie that her and I watched when we first got together, and then literally like, but then like a week later,
That's so sad.
I went and deployed. So yeah, but she's a comic book dork like me.
Oh, okay.
Right, like that's her. Like she loves comics like I do and stuff. So it was like, okay, we'll go watch it. Fine. About an hour and a half of this 2.5 hour movie, by the way. About an hour and a half in, we were the only ones in the theater.
Oh no.
We looked at each other like, do we have to stay? Like, do we have to? Like,
It was that bad.
we
Where
can
you
talk
thought,
as loud
like,
as we want.
Were you
Yes.
thinking about leaving
Yes.
after an hour and a
Yes,
half?
it was so magnificently bad.
Wow.
Like it was the funniest part of that movie was watching a Tim Dillon podcast about it afterwards. where he's just shitting on that movie because he has a cameo in it. Him just shitting on that movie.
Now that it came out, let me tell you what I really think.
It's so, but no, because it's
Even
just very
he was
funny.
like, "This is the worst movie I've been in," right? Or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is the easiest 200K I'm ever gonna
It
make.
was-
But, you know,
What the fuck is the point of making it? I mean, it's like, all right, Todd Phillips, like, once again, yes, I knew you.
Well,
yeah.
so here's what I think happened. Because if you watch the interviews between Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix after the first one came out, they have different interpretations of how the movie ended. Like, they think it went one way, another one thinks it went the other way. So they're like, well, we love this movie. We're very proud of it. Like, this is going to be the one and done thing. But, you know, $1 billion and an Oscar later, they're like, hey, we need to do a second one. And I really do think, this is my theory, and no one can change my mind. I really do think that Todd Phillips intentionally made that movie bad.
So that they wouldn't bring him back.
Yeah,
You think?
and as a fuck you to the company. Because
I can get with that.
Because so back in the 80s when Frank Miller wrote The Dark Knight Returns, that was like a big shift in comic books, right? Where it's like, oh, like, this
Now they're
comic can be
dark.
mature,
Serious again.
for adults, right?
I am the knight.
Yeah, and he went and did the same thing for Daredevil, right? So like, oh, the comics can be this now. But that comic book was so popular and it sold so many issues and so many reprints that they were like, hey, listen, you old fuck, you're gonna do a second comic book. And he was like, no, I'm not. And they're like, well, yes, you are. And they like finagled his contract to make him do another one. And so he turns around and he makes The Dark Knight Strikes Again, which is notoriously revered as one of the worst comic books ever written.
I've
And
heard
it's
that one.
bad. It's horrible.
Is that the one with Superman?
Well, Superman's in it.
he's in the Dark Knight.
He's in The Dark Knight Returns
too,
as well.
Oh,
But-
there's one after.
Was it immediately?
Dark
after
Knight
it?
Returns.
Yeah.
Like a few years.
It was in. So,
never heard of this
so
one.
Dark Knight Returns came out in
that bad.
88 or 86.
We're getting real nerdy here.
Yeah, and well, Dark Knight Strikes Again came out in the early 90s. And it's like they turned Dick Grayson into the Joker, and they do this
what
weird
the
thing where like Wonder Woman's like a tyrant, and it's really bad, and then like Superman like loses all. I forget what happens with Superman actually. I don't want to talk out of my mouth, but like aside of my mouth, but it was bad. It's like the art is terrible. It looks like a 5-year-old got watercolors and just made a comic book. It's so fucking bad. So that's what I think happened with Todd Phillips.
Oh, okay.
I think they forced him back, and he made dude. It's so bad. I was angry at Lady Gaga. I was actually mad.
Lady
She was
Gaga.
born this way, Noah. How dare you?
Wait,
Well,
why her though? Like
because she's
Just
horrible.
cloud makeup. on.
she's
Well,
horrible.
because she's horrible. Like she's so
That bad.
She's so just. I don't understand. It's clear to me she didn't try. Like it's so obvious that she didn't try, but like she thought that she could look. If she just look at the camera and act like this crazy cute amoeba and like sleepwalk her way through music numbers, that she would be acceptable. And she
gonna
should
say that,
in my
amoeba.
opinion, she should never be in front of a camera again. Oh wow! I think she has lost any goodwill she had with anybody, including myself. After Star is Born, she gone. Never do this again. Never. You please stick to the music.
Star has died.
Yeah, dude, a pitiful, pitiful death.
Damn.
It
Lady
is
Gaga.
Warner Brothers
so
giveth,
bad.
Warner
Dude,
Brothers taketh
This is
away.
not exaggeration. This happens in the movie. Joker gets raped. They
I heard about that.
literally rape the Joker.
I heard.
Like, and they don't even have the balls to do it on screen. It's an off-screen rape.
You wanted to
Bruce,
see.
what are you doing? Stop it, Bruce. Ow.
Breaking news.
Okay,
If
not
you're
funny.
gonna
No one
go
wants to
there-
see the
Okay.
Joker.
All
all
right.
the way.
Well, if you're gonna make a dark and gritty villain movie,
Yeah.
like, here's a great example. The girl with the dragon tattoo. There is a violent and horrible rape scene in that movie, but at least it has a purpose in the film.
Yeah.
At least it's effective, and it's supposed to make you feel gross and disgusting and bad. This one, I was just like, why? I was like, 'cause what happens is Joker goes off on like some TV interview. From what I remember, he goes on this TV interview, and he basically makes himself look like an idiot on purpose. And then he comes back, and he's like, and I think he like gets some guards in trouble or something happens where he pisses off these guards. And as they're taking him back to his cell, they take him to a different part of Arkham Asylum, and they rape him, but they rape him off screen. And the way they tell you that they raped him is they start to lay him down and hold him, and then it cuts to him naked. Jesus Christ.
It's getting you emotional.
No, it's getting me fucking sick. It's getting me sick. I
Throws up, imagine.
I have mucus in the back of my throat right now that wants to come out.
Have you ever thrown up on your podcast?
No, but
Has
one of
anyone ever?
my buddy
Yet.
has.
No.
So
Really?
one night.
Oh,
Yes.
you don't have to give names, but what happened?
No, tell us who it is. And we'll look up the episode immediately.
There we go.
It was Jabez, wasn't it?
Oh, no.
nah.
No, I feel
He got
much better now.
nervous. He got stage fright.
No, so what happened is it was me and my buddies, and we got fucked up doing this podcast. And we were we were all fucked up, and my buddy Springer, he was sitting behind the computer, producing, and he drinks a little bit more of his whiskey, and he says something that made him laugh. He was already fucked up, right? But he says something that made him laugh, and the whiskey came back up and out of his nose, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking puke." And so he grabs
announced it.
he grabs the trash can and hurls into the trash can. My buddy Joey grabs the camera and changes it and zooms in on him, and he comes out of it. He's got like snot and fucking like coming down. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Tonight on Cops.
Yeah. Anyway, so the way they tell you that he got raped is they're dragging him by his arms, and his legs are dragging on the ground, and his fucking granny panties white underwear is like half hanging off his ass.
He doesn't have Batman underwear.
Well, I'm just saying. He just has a shit stain in the side of a bat.
Take that, Bruce.
I am the Dark Knight.
I am the Brown Knight.
The Brown Knight. Jesus Christ.
It was so
Sorry,
bad.
sorry.
It was just so fucking bad. And the guy they casted some fucking twink to play Harvey Dent, and he was horrible. And no, but he's this like 90-pound skinny white kid who's not intimidating. He's not like, if you look at even like Harvey Dent in the Dark Knight trilogy was a bit imposing. Like he was very
Well, he's supposed to be a freaking lawyer, right?
Yeah, he's like the state attorney.
district attorney. Yeah.
But he's because like Aaron Eckhart, who played him in the Dark Knight trilogy, he wasn't big, but he had a good voice. He was very commanding. Yeah.
But he looked like a lawyer.
Exactly. But if you look at Harvey Dent in the comic books, he's this built fucking
Everyone
jacked
is,
dude,
dude.
right?
Every
But he's
character in
supposed to
comic
be,
books is
right?
just on roids.
Yeah.
But this dude's like 90 pounds, super scrawny, very high pitched voice.
Objection.
Like, really, the Joker is going to be me.
And then,
If I
like,
may.
My client is innocent.
it's
It's
so,
okay. All right.
it's so bad.
All right. So,
It's so
long story short,
bad.
do not watch the Joker 2.
Okay.
But
watch Joker.
Dude, it got
Gotcha.
beat. It got beat by Terrifier 3.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, in box office?
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Hey,
I
well,
know
good for
that's-
Terrifier. Hey, all right.
On its second weekend,
That movie is not for me, but hey, good for independent filmmaking.
yeah, and in its second weekend, Joker made only like 20 million,
Jesus.
and Terrifier 3 made like 40
Damn.
And Terrifier 3 was made like on what, like a
on like a $2 million
$3.50 budget.
Yeah, on a nothing budget, and it still made more money than that
Well,
movie.
you see Terrifying, you know what you're gonna go see, right?
Exactly.
You go see Joker 2 and you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yep, no, exactly. It was
The hells
fucking-
are alive.
So,
I assume.
Who's
I
that
don't know.
actor that they do the meme like, what the fuck is this piece of shit?
Oh,
Joe Pesci.
Oh, Joe Pesci. Joe
Yeah,
Pesci.
yeah. Insert Joe Pesci here.
Yeah.
It's like when the venue says they have a house kit.
What the fuck is this piece of
What
shit?
the fuck?
Well, hey, speaking of DIY venues, what the fuck happened to that wasn't Rinsden, it was some
Minnow?
Huh?
The Minnow?
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm seeing this on Instagram. Like, what happened?
Apparently there was a fire.
Wait, is the Minnow the one that?
It's the one in Barelas.
Okay.
It's the one on
It
4th
used to be
Street.
called like Chancla, right?
It used to be
Was
called La Chancla, yeah.
then it became Minnow, and then oh fuck, I
And
wanted
then they
to
had
play
shows
there.
there, and I went to the opening night. There was just a shit ton of people, which is good. That's what you want to see in a music scene. And I'm like, I don't recognize any of these people. This is awesome. It's like,
Oh yeah, that's the best, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
because I went to Rinsden. The only time I've ever been there was I was going to go see Centennial play because I've become friends with Estevan, but I had to dip out like right when I got there. I had to leave to go down to Dry Heat, and I remember I went there. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna say hi, say what's up, buy a shirt, and leave. And it was some band, I forget who was playing, but they had just finished, and everyone was piling out, and I didn't know what the fuck I was walking into. This place is DIY as it comes. It's a fucking house with a bunch of walls knocked down. They open the door. People start piling out. I walk in. The sweat and the
mist.
moisture just hits
The
my
humidity.
glasses.
You're talking about Ren's Den, right?
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, Comic-Con. What's going on?
What in the comic?
This is a Smash Brothers tournament. Ah, fuck.
Right? But I was like, there was maybe like 150 people there.
Jesus.
Hell
And
yeah.
I was like,
Fuck yeah, dude.
holy fuck. This is something out of the 90s, dude. This is sick.
I haven't been there yet. I've always wanted to go.
I
interesting.
went for a Sage show. I was filming, and then it was the coolest thing because first I'm like, what the hell is this? Like Ren's Den.
It's
like,
Ren's Den.
Yeah, it was awesome. But then like I go in there and like there's like these little kids, dude. Like, and like for me, like I don't know if like I got so used to like when we play live shows or when we go to our friends' live shows, like it's people our age because it's mostly, we play like at bars or like places that are 21 plus. But this place, like there was like little kids,
Like grade school?
like high schoolers, bro. Like
So when you say little kids, it makes it seem like, yeah, I brought my kids. Yeah, they can get a sitter. Yeah.
like they were either like
They're on their iPads. They're fine.
late, I want to say late middle school or like throughout high school. Like there was
Like
a
high
bunch.
school? Okay.
And the thing is, like I expected them since like Sage plays metal, so I was like, oh, these kids are probably gonna just be here like and just be on their phones or just like be bored. But dude, they were like dancing, they were like moshing. A little boy was just like all over the place, and then afterwards, like you
Weird
could see,
call out, but okay.
It sounds weird.
He's
huh?
having fun, Manny, okay?
That was
Let him
cool.
live his best life, all right?
And then like you see like their eyes and it's like they're looking up to the band, and then afterwards like this little girl comes out to Greg, not this one but the other one, the drummer, and then like
oh, yeah,
he's
Gucci Greg, yeah.
and then he signs a
Weird
drumstick.
call out, but okay.
Yeah, signs a
This little girl goes to Coochie Greg.
No, Gucci Greg.
Oh,
Wait, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. Okay.
Gucci
I
Greg,
said
not
Gucci.
Gucci. To Greg's Gucci.
Okay. It's not
No.
the, yeah.
And he pulls out a drumstick. Okay, that's weird. That's the no, dead ass.
All right, end your story.
Serious. We're serious.
He
This is a
signs
serious
a
moment.
drumstick for her and gives it to her, and she's like with her dad, and she's like super stoked. And then afterwards, like little kids going up and like like, meeting and greeting the band, which like it's funny because like those are our friends, but like to those kids, it's like wow, like these guys are rock stars. Like we just witnessed, like they're wide eyed, and I'm like, to me, for example, like when I watch like. I remember, like, I went to a Bowling for Soup concert, like, when I was a kid or at middle school, high school. I can't remember.
It's 2 weeks ago.
And I was like, fuck, like, I want to play up there. It was at Launchpad, and then, eventually you play Launchpad, whatever. And, like, I feel like that moment was, like, for some of those kids, like, wow, like, maybe I'm going to pick up an instrument. Like, I'm going to use this drumstick and, like, play drums. And, like, they start bands, and then they become the next... I was gonna say like
memory.
Next
no, they
next
become the
Gregorio.
next generation. Yeah, who's to say like they open up for us, we open up for them. They go fucking places,
That's
like,
what is pretty cool.
That's
like
how it should
was
be, yeah.
awesome.
I never understood, and I still really don't, but the intricacies of like how bands get booked when like bigger acts come in. And I was having a conversation with Barney Lopez when he came in on the podcast, and I do appreciate, because I know that contracts and promoters and managers are, they need to make their money, so they're not going to get the local guys if they have people that are in their label that are near, they'll bust them in or whatever. I get that. But the fact that we have promoters in the city that will advocate for local bands to open, like the Slums played for Real Friends. I saw was it Real Friends that they played for? Or
We
no,
the Kings?
We the Kings,
yeah.
because Real
Yeah.
Friends was Savings. Savings went and played for Real Friends. Like the fact that opportunity
Yeah.
is here for local bands is pretty fucking sick. I love Launchpad. Launchpad is probably my favorite venue here. That's
my favorite.
for music.
Yeah, same.
That's home base, man.
It's fucking amazing there. And I really like, they have a stand-up show coming up at the end of the month. I don't know who the fucking comic is, but there's a few local comedians that got booked for that show. And I really hope that show goes well, because I would love to do stand-up at Launchpad.
That'd be sick.
Do it. It would be kind of like, it'd be kind of weird. You have to bring a bunch of tables and chairs in there because it's obviously a standing room.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, if you could do a stand-up show there at Launchpad, that would be some of the funnest shit. Because just like it is with a metal concert there, you could have people sitting up on the rafters, people off to the side. If you can imagine that. I just think about that place erupting with laughter. That'd be fucking crazy. That'd be fucking sick if they could get
And
that
variety
going.
shows too, or like maybe
No,
like,
that's gay.
no, I don't know if that was the right
Sing
word,
a song.
but like
Da,
let's
da,
say
da,
like
da.
a comedy show and then fucking music.
Well, so
Or-
we're trying that up in Rio
There's
Rancho.
not a
Oh,
lot
for
of
real?
crossover from
Yeah,
what
we're
I've seen,
trying
which I
that.
would like to see.
We're
That would
trying
be
to
cool.
do that. So
we did one.
We did one with the Nikes one. Yeah,
Yeah, it's called Your
what's it-
Set.
Oh yeah. The girl was not that funny.
Whatever.
Well, it was funny because
we
like
won't say names, but
it was funny. We did when we were in the 9Qs. Like we had a show at what's that place called? Juno. And then like they're like Juno is. It's a place, right?
Yeah, I did a show there. I'll never go back there again.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, and then like, but the guy was just like, oh, like you bring all the shit basically, and like you basically take care of everything. We're not
You run
gonna
the show, so
we're
I
not
don't
gonna
have to do the
promote.
work.
You do all the
Yeah.
promotion. So we're like, well, who do we get to open for us? And then it's like, well, why don't we try like I guess they met some comedian like at some.
Who was it? No, say it. Who was it?
What was her name?
Her name.
yeah, it was a chick. Who's that chick that did those burke memes? And
Oh,
those-
no.
Shit, what can you say?
Yeah,
Lauren Poole?
No, and Dre something.
Oh, Drizzy Locks.
Dre Zamora.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
who the fuck that is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Personally, like I didn't find it funny at all. But like
There's a lot of that going around.
But we didn't know how to like do splits, so it was like the band got, like we're like, well, let's just do 50-50. That's really nice. But then like she got 50% and then the band got 50% and then split it by 4. So it's like we were like kind of like learning like how to like
would've pissed me
manage.
You don't even make anybody laugh.
But the thing is like for me like I was cool, dude. Like I'm not in if I'm gonna be in a band for money, I'm not gonna be in the 9Qs. Like there's no money there. There's no future there.
I know exactly what you mean.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
We're
so
just chilling.
But it was an interesting experiment. But the one I was actually referring to was like there's this guy Nick Cannon. What's his name? Nick Furious.
Yeah, he hosted
Nick-
America's
Nick-
Got Talent.
Furious
that
Nick
one,
Furiously.
Nick Fury, the eye patch guy.
Tractor.
Nick Furiously, I guess is his name, and his was cool. Like he did like a Tractor, the one downtown or
Yeah.
at
Downtown.
Wells Park,
Tractors
yeah.
Well. Or
yeah,
Wells Fargo, yeah.
yeah, and then like, and it was cool because like there was like a comedian, and then like Gregorio played, and then like another comedian, then I played a set, like an acoustic set, and then there was like a magician, I think, and like
Magician.
Oh, God.
yeah,
Pull a rabbit out of his ass.
yeah, it was interesting.
Try some jokes, huh?
It was interesting. So I'm like, how are you approaching that?
So AJ, shout out to fucking AJ De Leon. He's the one that put it together. So he got us basically a room, I guess, up in Rio Rancho, Bernalillo area. It's called The Block. And it's a mostly outdoor venue, but they have a bar, like an upstairs bar in the back of the place. And that's where we're doing our comedy shows now. And they were like, hey, we're going to do these outdoor comedy shows. Hey, I think it sounds cool. That's not bad.
ASMR.
But they were like, hey, we're gonna do these outdoor shows. We started in October, and even when we stopped doing the outdoors like middle of last month in November, but even like when it was getting real cold out there, we still had like fucking 50 or 60
Oh,
people.
that's
Hey, there
amazing.
you
Which
go.
was sick.
the
And yeah,
best.
so now what we're trying to do is keep this going through the winter and the bar. And then in the springtime, they start using the outdoor because it's a giant fucking venue. Like we went for the first time like the Sunday before we did our first show, and it was packed. And I remember talking to the guy, and I was like, "Hey, like, is this typically how busy it is? Like, what's it?" He's like, "Well, it's actually kind of like a medium to a light night for us. We have like maybe 175 people here." And I'm like, "What?"
Damn.
So my whole thought process is like, okay, if you guys don't give us or stop giving us these fucking bullshit Tuesday nights, and you see that we can still bring a crowd, give us like a fucking Thursday or a Friday in the spring into the summer.
Prime time.
Let us do a couple of comedy shows that are just strict comedy shows that we could still keep people here. And then because there's a local show that goes around and started taking it on the road. It's called Jokes and Jams, where it's like half a specific type of music, usually rap. But they did like a Latino night and they did a country night. But it's usually like rap and comedians. But we want to do like rock and metal and comedians. So of all local bands, so that we can have that type of setup there, and that would be fuck because their sound system is killer. Like the sound system literally travels the entire venue to include the bathrooms, which is kind of funny.
There you go.
Well,
There
it
you
was
go.
funny because like
You're trying to shit.
I could wipe to this.
You don't miss anything.
it was funny because like I was watching the comedy show and I was like, I gotta go take a shit. So I went to the bathroom and the comedy show turned from comedy show to TED Talk real quick because like listening to the dude do his set and then break for laughter and there's nothing. I'm just sitting on the shitter like, oh my god.
Today on NPR, all things considered.
What's up with airplane food?
What's the deal with immigration?
The economy today is bad.
So yeah, it's a dope fucking venue, and we're hoping that they're gonna let us do that because that would bring a whole new type of show up there. And just to bring more spotlight to fucking local bands that we think are pretty kick ass. So that would be fucking cool to do.
Like Lost in a Memory.
Yeah.
No, for real. To bring these bands up and mix comedy with music. And
What's the name of the place?
it's called The Block.
The block.
The Block.
The Block.
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
We got
Block.
it. This man has the vision.
It'll be really cool.
Just let him
dude.
do his thing. It'll be a fun
Yeah,
time.
it'll be a great fucking time.
Block.
Provided we should be able to get there, but it'll be. And it's cool to see like after COVID, a bunch of new projects pop up, a bunch of new bands pop up. There's like even still like now, every time I go to an open mic, there's like at least 3 or 4 new people trying out stand up, and it's because when I started doing stand up a year and a half ago. I started doing it right at the end, I think, of when comedy really started popping off here over the last year or so, and it was hard to fill a open mic list. There was maybe like 9, 10, maybe 13 people. Now there's like upwards of 20 people that are trying shit
For
out.
open mic, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So are there like music open mics here
yeah.
that are pretty like?
There's
I haven't really heard of
Not
any
as
lately.
much. Because you know what? After COVID, when it kind of was dying off, right? And music was coming up again. It kind of blew up a little bit. Remember? Like,
I guess.
Or was
I
it before
legitimately
that?
can't
You don't
remember.
remember?
It was right after. Because we
There
went
was-
to a few,
there
but
was
then
a cool moment when it kind of blew up a little bit, and it was cool. But now I just feel like
Because I feel like the only real like music open mics that are here, at least that I've heard of, are a bunch of like indie type stuff. It's fine, that is what it is. But like, but I imagine it'd just be tough to do like a full band for an open mic.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
tough.
Bringing all
Yeah,
your
they'd
shit.
have to have a drum kit and then
Yeah.
just like a sound system, like a speaker.
What is this piece of shit?
Oh, fuck it, I just made that.
Wait, you were gonna say what? Is there one that you know of? Because it'd be kind of sick to hit one
But
up.
earlier, what you were saying, Greg, about all these open mics popping up after COVID, because people were so
pent up with
pent up, and hunkered
Yeah.
down, like, oh, open mic, sure, because that's exactly what happened with Ancora. That's how I met.
Ancora.
Miko. That's how I met Jadel. That's how I met Hasiel. And then I saw Joe. Like I met her once before, but we like really talked and hung out.
Yeah.
At Ancora, and then through them, I met all these people, and then I met these guys. So
That's true. Because
Yeah.
like we did meet, like we started like having like shows here and there, and then we were in a band called Scorpio Season, and that's how we met you.
Yeah.
Was it that night when we played at La Luna?
It was at La Luna, yeah.
At
It
La
was at its
Luna.
old location.
Yeah, yeah. I have a photo, and it's like a photo of like pretty much everybody that was coming up in the scene back then.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
And it
cool
was like
photo.
It was outside on the
It was
stage,
after
huh?
our show.
Yeah.
And it's like Jolene. I see. I'm like, is that Dan? And then like it's like, like the Monsoon dudes and like
Kenny's there. And
yeah.
then-
And I'm like, oh wow, like we go way back.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was such a sick like movement.
And I was kind of like more spread out, and I'd say there's definitely a lot of open mics. It's just like I don't know, we're kind of like in the same boat where we don't really do open mics. Really, we kind of just
I think what happened too is, you want to do stuff, right? And you're like, cool, open mic, I'll do my stuff by myself. But now we got our bands. Now we got, like you said, it's harder to just go do an open mic with your whole band. You want to play bigger and better stuff now. So for us, we're like, well, there's no reason, at least for me, right? There's no reason to do an open mic no more. I got my band and we're doing all these cool stuff.
Because I would imagine for music, so it's like the difference between music and like a stand-up open mic. So at least with the stand-up open mic, you need to go there. Like that's a staple of how you become a comedian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is
Oh,
you
yeah.
need
Trial
to
by
go
fire.
there and you need to try out your
Yeah.
material.
You need a bomb and
You need to
You
bomb.
need a bomb, dude.
You need to learn
Yeah.
how to write, and like I'm still going through that. I'm gonna go through that for the next few years of just learning how to do that, be comfortable with all of that and all that type of stuff. But at least with the band, you can practice in your garage. You know if music sounds good or not. Generally, you know if music sounds good or not. You know, but like there have been times here, even just like this past week, where I'm like, yeah, that's fucking funny, dude. And then I go to a show and I do it, and I'm like, that's fucking
you're like,
funny,
you motherfucker,
guys.
this
Like,
is
come on, laugh.
hilarious, laugh.
please laugh.
my mom said I was funny.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. That's exactly exactly.
You know what I mean?
right,
But
yeah.
then I sound like I feel like a schizophrenic. I'm like in my head, this was hilarious.
Yeah.
In my head,
Yeah.
why are you laughing at my cum joke, asshole? This is funny. This is funny. This is comedy gold. But like you can, that's the big divider though, right? And
definitely.
and you guys are in a position now where like you can get attached to other bands. You can put on your own shows at these venues where you can start. And that's where you're cutting your teeth and we're doing all of that. Yeah. It's like the beginning stages of Guitar Hero. Like you're playing it, you're playing the
You play it in your basement, yeah. And then you have to face off against the devil.
Right.
That's how it goes.
Well,
Oh, you never been? You never gone?
I didn't get invited.
I didn't get invited either. Okay.
wait, to where?
To the Diddy party.
Don't worry about it.
To the Diddy party?
You playing
Hell
all this Disney music?
No!
Yeah.
Stop it.
Allegedly.
Oh, there's only 200 bottles of oil.
I was expecting
I need at least 800 more
369.
bottles.
Did you see? So there was what's it called? There was when they first started bringing him to court. There was a transcript that came out, and a part of this is a real defense from his lawyer. I'm not making this shit up. This is as close to verbatim for what they said. Is they're like, well, because they were like, why are there 1,000 bottles of lube that got confiscated or put into evidence or whatever?
998,
like, well,
999. I lost count. Fuck. 1, 2.
Someone had to count them,
It's
huh?
like
If you think about it.
997, 998.
All the
900
dildos?
like this was Justin Bieber, 999.
No. We owe that man an apology, dude. Poor dude.
I keep interrupting you, Noah.
But no,
I'm sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
so but they were telling him in court to the judge, they were like, well, you know, a lot of Americans these days, they buy in bulk, like they go to places
I
like
saw that,
Costco, and then Costco came out on Twitter, and they're like, we have nothing to do with this.
Hey,
We don't
yo,
sell
drag
that
it
shit
to
in
the
bulk.
Yeah, they're like, we don't sell baby
brand.
oil
Anymore.
in bulk.
We don't sell it anymore.
Yank it off the shelves. Yeah, mass forklifts crashes in Costco's all across the nation. But like they're yanking the baby Johnson and Johnson baby oil.
A family company.
How is this real life? Like, I still cannot grasp that.
Are you
Truth-
surprised
truth
though?
is
Like, for
stranger
real,
than
are-
fiction.
Like, are you surprised though?
No, I am not surprised at this point, but it's still like, no, like, what else is gonna?
Well, because like, throughout history, it's a human issue to have a problem with power and authority. And most humans do not deal with that very well. When they reach a certain status in society, like, it's
no
societal
Superman.
level now, right? Where it's like they have so much power and so much influence. It's the Harvey Weinstein thing, where it's like, if you're this pretty little actress that's trying to make it in Hollywood, you think you can be the next big starlet and the next big actress. It's like, well, I have the ability to make and break your career, and I have authority, and I'm also fucking evil inside. Guess what I'm going to do with it? You know what I mean?
Abuse it.
You're going to abuse it. Like, that's what these people are doing, whether it's Weinstein, whether it's Diddy. And then you have on the opposite end of that spectrum, you have somebody that got a lot of power and authority in the comedy world, like Rogan, where he used his platform to showcase all these comedians that he knew were funny. And now it's like he's like the modern Johnny Carson. And now Kill Tony's the same thing. Like, you get on Kill Tony, you do well, you become part of that universe, and now you start getting like it's so funny. Like, I'll watch Kill Tony every week, and if someone does really well, I'll follow them on Instagram. And then throughout the week, I'll like refresh their page, I've seen people go from like 1,000 to like now they have like 11, 12, 13,000 followers on Instagram, all because they had a really great set on Kill Tony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they use their authority and they use their influence
Their platform
for positive. Their platform is for
Yeah.
good.
Unless they have a bad set.
Oh, well, then they fucking trash them. Well, no, apparently you become, I'm not going to say who, but you become a fucking regular on Kill Tony and you just bomb your dick off left and right. It is what it is.
Hey, publicity, bad publicity.
It is what it is.
It's all good.
But,
right?
you know, it's a huge spectrum, but like it's not surprising to me.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
It's sad. It's sad that a lot of like people of power are, you know, evil, I guess, for like simple terms.
Well, because people think you won't become corrupted by it, right? People think that power and money won't corrupt you. And everyone, I think, especially at the lower levels, if you're a creative type and you're trying to make a name for yourself, trying to help people around you, help yourself, and you would think that it's like, yeah, I would never be corrupted. But then also...
But then once you get
Once
that,
you
Yeah,
get there,
it's
you
like,
get
dude,
a
I've
taste of
never
it.
seen $1 million in one place. I've never seen...
want to?
Yes. I would fucking love
We'll be right
to.
back.
Yeah, I would like. But
Here, bring me the baby oil.
pucker up, sweetheart.
I bought a bulk. Don't worry about it.
Each stroke is $10K. How bad you want it? But, you know, but it's like you've never opened up your bank account and seen multiple commas. You know, we've never experienced that. What, okay, you've opened up your bank
He
account.
drives a Tesla. He drives a fucking Tesla.
No,
He could drive by
I was
itself.
playing a gym.
Well, it's like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I know what you mean.
Like,
Yeah,
you've never opened up your bank account and seen $10 million in one place, and you've never like all this type of money, or like you don't know what that type, and you hope that by the time you get there, you have enough resolve to be able to compartmentalize. Okay, oh fuck, I'm rich now. Okay, but I'm still a human. I'm still who I am. I'm still Noah. Okay, whatever. But you would hope, but by the time you get there, that will, maybe it's the universe, maybe it's, if you believe in God, it's God or whatever it is. But if that's in your cards and if that's in your destiny or whatever, if you're fated to have that by the time you get there, you have enough emotional, like it'll meet you at the same time. Like that axis will cross when your maturity is right there with it. You know what I mean?
Perfect timing.
I think
Right. When you're ready for it.
Well, last time that I was on the podcast, if I remember correctly, we were talking about like Justin Bieber, the dude, and now there's a lot more context behind it, right? But like the dude, he was just a little boy, and then like you put him in a position where like he's the most famous kid in the world, basically, right? And then like, how do you like? You still have the dude, what, like his mental, what is it, like the frontal lobe wasn't even like fully developed.
Frontal lobe,
Yeah, frontal lobe, yeah, that. And it's like, I was thinking about it like the other day because I was doing a photo shoot for a client, and it was this young girl who has a Dodge Challenger, beautiful car, you know, and those cars, you know, muscle cars are loud as fuck. And so like, I remember being, you know, 23, 24, and I was like, I'm never going to be that boring 30-something-year-old that just stays home instead of like, no, like I'm going to be partying and I'm going to love me my muscle cars and stuff like that. And it's like, I'll never be boring, right? Or what I consider boring. Then you get to your 30s, I'm 30s, and I was like, I can't stand muscle cars. It's like, why is it so loud?
God.
Yeah.
This
and
music sucks. Why are they listening to this?
not even that. And then, but hold, like,
Kids need to keep it down next door. Jesus.
but it's not all doom and gloom, right? Like two parts of this why I bring it up personally, because like at the time you're like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like change my mindset, right? And then I get older and I'm like, what's the point of a loud ass muscle car? Like I used to have the loudest freaking Mustang, and now like I would never go near a Mustang, right? And like, I don't want to go to the club. Like, I want to be home by 9, 10, just chilling out, watching a movie, playing guitar, you know? So
I feel that.
It doesn't, yeah. So once you get there, but then like, I guess that's sort of a positive. Like, so in the same way that, you know, right now we can say like, dude, if I had like $10 million in the bank, $50 million in the bank right now, like,
yeah, 10's not enough.
I would, yeah, I would still be the same person as me. I would still be humble. But then once you get there, who knows how it'll affect you?
The one, not the one thing, but one of the biggest things, if that comes a part of my life where I have a lot of money, I just want to be able to be like,
relax.
I don't have to worry about rent. I don't have to worry about my insurance bill.
I'm
I don't
not
have to
in
worry
debt.
I don't have to
in
struggle.
debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, all right. Like, I think the best way I've heard it put was by is Brian Callen saying this on Rogan's podcast, where he was like, being rich is being able to go to a restaurant you like and you don't worry about how much the food costs. You can show up, you order a steak, a bottle of wine, you have a couple of drinks, you can pay for your friends. Like,
Right.
I can enjoy the
That'd be a
moment.
great
Not having to
feeling.
worry
Yeah.
about, do I have enough?
right.
Well, I think like it's also, I mean, I haven't made like a shitload of money, but whenever like I did make like money, right? And I think was it with us that we were talking about it? I think it might have been with us. That for me, for example, when I do make, you know, when I do good, whether it's like photography or music, like I end up buying like, oh, like I'm gonna buy a new drum set, a new pedal board, a new amp,
Camera.
new cameras, a drone, this kind of shit.
Cameras.
Plural. Okay.
And then I think about it, I'm like, holy shit, like, you know how they say like more money, more problems, right? Like, oh, did I really need a new camera when I had a perfectly working one? But then I think about it and it's like, well, I bought like tools that I'm gonna like, I invested in like tools that I'm actually using for the things that for my goals, you know, the drum set to record better drum parts, the cameras to get really cool shots, right? Not those kind of shit, but you know. So I imagine like if I was to come across like, again, like the $50 million thing, you know, like I'm like, yeah, would I be just chill? Like, all right, cool. Like I got a nice camera, or would I get that next level thing, like little by little? Oh, I got that cool car, but that other car is kind of nicer. So it just makes me wonder like about me personally, you know. At the same time, you know, like we are getting older, so like we do have like that experience of like that maturity
And perspective.
Yeah, because like if I got money, like stupid money, like when I was 18, that wouldn't have lasted. I mean, money comes and goes either way, no matter how much
a lot
you
of
got.
symbols.
Isn't it something like, 80% of people that win the lottery go bankrupt.
Go broke.
Yeah.
Same thing with former NFL players, I think.
Yep.
Like
Athletes.
75% they retire and they go
They'll
broke.
lose it all.
Well,
Because
it's
they
because
don't
like
change their spending habits.
once you get like that big sum of money, and I've experienced that myself because like I've done 3 albums for ESPN, but when I did the first one, stop it. No,
I did 3
this
albums.
This is good advice
For
actually,
ESPN.
but it took me a while to learn because
Dun-dun-dun.
shut up. You're embarrassing me.
I love China.
No, hold on. The first one, it's a big sum of money, but then like it went like that, and I'm like, what the hell? I didn't pay my credit cards, which I said I was gonna do, and I didn't like do this and that. And why? Because like what you just said, didn't change my spending habits. It just like with more money, like it kind of like
You elevate your spending habits.
yeah,
Actually.
yeah. And I'm like, what did I get with that money? And I can't remember what the hell I got. And it took like until the second and the third to be like, all right, cool. Like, let's save some for a rainy day and let's keep going, like not get complacent. So I saw, and I just read the headline while I was on my way here, like the kid that played Kid Loki in Loki. I guess like he was homeless or something, and they're helping him out. I'm not sure. I just read the headline, but it's like a few actors also. Like that's very common. Like when an actor gets like a movie, right? Like a semi-decent movie, they get a good paycheck, and they just think, cool, I've made it. Just like the Superman guy that we were talking about earlier. You know, like, oh, my career is automatically going to skyrocket and more work is going to automatically come my way. But at that point, it's like, no. You worked hard. You made this money. Don't get complacent. Keep going. And you're going to have your ups and downs. So save some of that money, you know? So it's wild.
Find a way to
Especially-
keep it flowing. You know what
That,
I mean?
and then especially when it comes like when you get that lump sum of money and they don't take taxes out of it up front.
Yes.
And it's like, hey, bitch, you got to report that to the
Yes.
IRS or you're like, that's what pissed me off.
No, I don't.
That's what pissed me off the most is they put that law in where it was like any transactions in any bank account over $600 immediately gets flagged by the IRS. Like, fuck you.
that, dude.
You're telling me you're going to do this when now the Pentagon has failed their 7th audit in a row? They can't find $18 trillion? Are you fucking... That's not a whoopsie.
Oh,
There's
but-
not another Twin Towers you
I
can crash a
found it.
plane
It's right here.
into
But you
where
with
you
your-
lose all the money again.
But you with your side jobs and you need Venmo to get money, yeah, you got to report that.
Yeah.
Ain't
Like,
that some
you
shit?
know what I mean? Fuck you.
Yeah, no, that's...
Fuck you.
Because it hurts just the working person.
Yeah, and when that first money from the first disc came in and I spent it all, I was like, oh shit, I didn't save for the taxes.
Where'd it go?
Oh no! So now it's like then you can get into the negatives. So I feel like that's a thing, you know, with like people.
Man, he's
that-
like, and now I owe $50,000 to Disney.
that's why I'm talking so nice about him.
I owe my soul. Here you go, Mickey. Here's my soul.
Where's my money, bitch?
You're in prison.
Everybody, watch Snow White coming to theater. No, I'm just kidding.
Tired of waiting, Manny.
Well, what kills me, so now that Biden pardoned his son, and when you read that letter where it says that he is, I mean, just to make it real quick, is that he is completely scot-free for any crimes he may or may not have committed from, actually, no, I don't want to make it short. No, it says he is pardoned of any crimes he may or may not have committed against the United States, which is a crazy accusation.
Serious, yeah,
From
yeah.
January 1st of 2014 until December 3rd of 2024. So all that tax stuff is completely wiped away. But then you have people like fucking Wesley Snipes who fucked up his taxes in the 90s. He went to prison for like 2 years.
For real?
Yeah.
I think it would
Yeah, it kind of ruined his career. He didn't have any work.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's like a couple reality stars right now that are in prison right now because they didn't pay their taxes properly.
Yeah.
Where it was like, but it's also like that's what we're arresting these people over.
Yeah. Over
Taxes.
Nonsense,
Or
but
that
Snow White
people
coming to
wrongly-
theaters soon.
Or that people wrongly convicted and they spend their decades in prison and then,
Jeez.
oh, sorry about that. Yeah, you're free to.
Yeah,
fact-
for like random and shit, like even like crimes, like
You had
possession of
marijuana in your
marijuana, bro. Like, are you serious?
Non-violent drug crimes, in my opinion, is a fucking oxymoron in itself.
All my drug crimes are violent.
Like that's see, prison. But you know, it's like
Right to jail.
But like,
Right to jail.
like possession of marijuana. Are you when there's 38 states where it's legal recreationally?
Ain't that some shit?
It's like, what are you talking about? That's still like, could you imagine and it's happening right now. Being in prison in like California or New Mexico or Colorado off of a non-violent drug crime for marijuana, and there are and you can look out, like, you know, theoretically, you can look outside the prison walls and there's a dispensary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Just release those people.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I think it was it Kim Kardashian that was like helping out, like release some of these
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
she
that
was-
was
good
cool.
for her for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was big on prison reform during the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Big on that. Yeah, I don't know. It just blows my fucking mind. And then, like, that's what I really enjoyed about Andrew Yang when he was trying to run for president, because his whole idea was, we're going to do the universal basic income where Americans get $1,000 a month that's not taxed, and you put that towards wherever you want to put it towards.
That'd be nice.
But it gets funded through so you create a deficit in the criminal, I forget what it's actually called, but I guess it's the DOJ budget that goes to prisons, right? You create a deficit in that because you release all the non-violent drug offenders, and all that money that's not being spent on them goes back into the budget, and then you federally legalize marijuana, and all the tax dollars from that go towards a UBI.
Bro, it's so basic.
It's like, and he's Asian, so he did the math, and it worked out. Well, that's my whole thing. Is like when he was running for president, he's talking about this. Like, why are we not listening to the Asian guy about math?
Why are we not funding this?
Yeah,
Because he doesn't wear a tie. That's why. No. If you don't wear a tie,
it takes away his
Because he's a
powers.
we
minority.
don't listen to him.
Because the prisons lose money. then,
Exactly.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, it's like,
build a prison.
oh, dude, System of a Down. I will say this: I really like, especially now that I've grown up, I really agree with their stance on anti-war. But they also take it to the extreme where, like, Serge Tankian was wearing the shirts that was like, every time a soldier died, God smiles or some shit.
Oh, boy.
Where it's like, that's not true.
Like,
A little too radical.
like
That's a
whoa,
bit
whoa,
much.
whoa, whoa.
But I wonder why they never came back and kept making music.
Because they hate each other.
Do they really?
It's just
Yeah,
internal
Rage,
shit.
System, Oasis, any band.
Imagine
you play
being-
with people. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. Imagine being in a band for like 20, 30 years, nonstop, like confined
Scissor?
to shit after
Yeah.
a while. Like, we could be best friends, but after a while, we'd probably be like, motherfucker. Get
Or
away
you just
from
get
my
tired of each other. Or you just
Yeah.
don't work. You're like, I don't think
Yeah,
that
but-
song should have that.
but-
Well, that's my whole reason I wrote this song. Well,
Everything goes back to maturity, dude.
But Rage Against the Machine isn't a great example because they fucking sold out to the machine.
well, they just got big.
did.
No,
It-
they fucking they categorically sold out during COVID. You don't remember that?
What did
The
they
whole
do?
Ticketmaster shit, right?
So
All
the
the
well,
tickets.
that was one thing. But what happened was they had this big, and I was gonna go despite the giant ticket price sales
Yeah.
because they were going on tour. It was them and Run the Jewels on a co-headlining tour, and I was like, "That's crazy. I'm gonna go see that because they're all both of those groups are the shit." But it gets canceled because of COVID. Things start opening back up, and they redo all their tour dates, all their venues, whatever. And across the entire tour, it was the only way you get to see this tour is if you are vaccinated fully up to the current CDC standards, and you had to provide documentation at the venue that you are fully vaccinated. And regardless of how you feel about the vaccine, by definition, that is fucking anti-American. That is anti-fuck. That's not right.
But that was their choice to do so.
Right, but when your whole
Because we didn't know what COVID was at that point.
dude,
Because
this is-
people were dying.
this is in
Now
tw-
it's not that big.
Dude,
of
this
a
is in
deal.
2022.
Yeah.
We knew exactly what COVID was. It was a upper respiratory disease that was killing less than 1% of Americans, and the people that it did kill already had pre-existing conditions. Come on. Like, so even
small percentage.
But the point is
Maybe they had a
even-
pre-existing
but
condition.
of being retarded, because when you are Rage Against the Machine and you are conforming to the machine, you have now lost the plot. Like, you aren't it's only fuck the police until the police protect you, right? Like, that's what that moral of that story is. It's like, okay, the system only fuck the machine until you're okay with the machine? Or was it your management? Was it the agencies? Was it the booking venues? Like, why? Like, it didn't make sense. And then now if you go to their Instagram, even today, if you go to their Instagram, all their followers, the people that they're following, they aren't following anybody. You can't comment on any of their stuff.
We couldn't find their guitar tabs when we were trying to learn their song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Like any artist, you can go on the Ultimate Guitar, you find their tabs. But when we would look, because we were gonna do Killing in the Name, well, we used to do it with the 9Qs. We might do it tomorrow. We lost in a memory, and
we already did it.
Yeah. If you were at the show, that's
right.
If you were at the show, yeah.
Glad
so,
to see you were there.
so if you look it up, it's like, and dude, Ultimate Guitar, they mince no words. They're like, hey, sorry, this artist doesn't want us to show you their tabs.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
So-
And I'm like, tabs? Are you serious? So yeah, like they went like
Yeah, they're
completely
going
like
super. They're like, we're going after you, little
You're-
people. What
like
the fuck?
your tabs. You don't want people to learn your songs. Like there's gonna.
That's how your music spreads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The
Tom
thing-
Morello has his like master class now. So they
Is
want-
that what it
so
is?
They want you to
Oh
pay
my
for it.
god.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Dude,
Damn.
I got my aunt. She bought Masterclass for like a couple months, and she gave me one of the free trials for it or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, this is cool." They have a couple things for like or movie making. Oh, they have some
Yeah.
stand-up ones. That's
Oh, sick.
what's the stand-up ones like? And the only stand-up comedy masterclasses was from Judd Apatow. It's like, okay, that makes sense. He's a great writer.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good comic, but great writer. I'm sure he knows some things. It was literally just 40 minutes of him saying how great his career was and how it was for him in the beginning. And I'm like, that's not.
It seems like it's people just blowing smoke up their own asses.
Yeah,
And it's
well,
like, here.
if that's just a case study of it, I'm sure I would hope because they got like, fuck, who was it? I think they had like Hans Zimmer do a master class, and then they had Martin Scorsese, and like so. It was like, you would hope that they're actually like imparting some decent knowledge on people. But I mean, Judd Apatow is one of the greatest script writers of all time. I don't think that's really like arguable, right? He's fucking talented beyond measure. But if you're just gonna sit there and tell me how great your life was and how hard it was in the beginning for you as a comedian, please stop.
It was just like, was it at least like a pep talk? Like this was really hard for me, but
No,
then
it was just like, hey, this is gonna suck for a long time. If you stick with it, you
That's-
might make it.
Have fun.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
We
now
already
get
know
out
that.
there, kid.
yeah. Maybe one day you'll write Freaks and Geeks, and you'll figure your life out.
That's the level of like, what's the word I'm looking for, Greg? You complete my sandwiches.
True. The level of
Audacity.
Like the audacity, bro. Like to
Damn it.
sign
I did it this
Damn
time,
it.
Greg.
the level of ego, dude.
We gotta be quicker than that.
Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
like I love like when like people with knowledge, and I used to do it on YouTube. I need to get back on it. Like oh, here's how I produced such and such song. Like to do my vocals, for example, I had a compressor, an EQ, and then you can.
I
do
saw
this.
that video you put up, where it was like the different vocal layers for
Yeah, for Break My Heart. So I love doing stuff, and it's been a while since I've done it, and I want to do a breakdown. Like, hey, here's how I did an alternative rock song. First of all, here's how I mix my cymbals so that they're, stuff like that. So I love like education. I used to teach guitar, and like when I was learning guitar, I learned, they teach you, one way, but then it's like, oh, it turns out there's a shortcut. Like sometimes there's shortcuts, and I love like being able to teach someone like, oh, like you can learn it faster like this, and then explain why. So stuff like that. So I don't understand, like, yeah, not everybody's an educator. Not everybody wants to give out their secrets or whatever. But to sign up for a master class, like to sign up for a website where like the point is you're teaching,
and it ain't cheap either.
yeah, and then
Masterclass
just
is
to
fucking
brag
expensive.
about what you do, get real, man. Some people are.
Oh, he knocked it off. He knocked it off.
We'll be right back. You guys talk.
No, yeah, so all you got to do is the upside of it has command strips on it, and just line it up with the other command strips and just squeeze really hard.
Yeah, harder.
Is that the first time someone's
There you go.
No, fuck no. It happens all the time.
Okay, there you go. No, you don't gotta
Oh
feel
wait,
bad.
up. You got it.
ASMR.
Is it?
You can look under it if you need
Is
to.
it? Is it in the
Okay,
right
cool.
spot?
Yeah, I hope so.
Me too.
So how
it's in the
much?
same spot.
How much do you guys worry about, like, to help promote your music and like just you as an artist? How much do you guys worry about using social media?
Worry?
Like worry about it. Like, oh, I gotta post. I have to do this. I have to do that.
24/7.
It kind of sucks.
Ask them. They do more of it than I do.
So it's at this point where like you don't want to do it, whatever. It sucks doing it, but if you don't post, you lose people's mind and attention. You know what I mean? So you're like, cool. What do I gotta post? What can I do to be engaging and stuff? I hate it. I hate doing it, but that's why I'm like, cool. Like I'll do like a little video to like me playing guitar. Cool. Here you go. Or promoting the album. Blah blah blah. And well, like I just dropped an album, so now I'm just like, fuck. If I don't keep talking about it.
Damn, and you bring it up fucking hour and a half, 2 hours in. This guy sucks at social media. Jesus Christ.
Exactly. See, there you go. Exactly. It sucks promoting, bro. Thinking like, cool, what do I got to do to be engaging? And it sucks, but on my mind, I'm constantly like, fuck. What I got to do to... I hate it, but I don't know how you feel about it.
For me, it's the opposite actually. And the thing is like,
Okay, I don't.
This
I
is
don't
good.
Okay, I don't really.
I've
hate
got him
it.
in the middle.
It is. I will digress. It is fun when you post something and it's engaging, and you're like, okay, you know what, this is kind of worth it. You know what I mean? But sometimes the amount of effort you got to do, especially at the level we're at right now, because you want to be somebody, you want people to listen to your shit. You know what I mean? But the amount of effort and thought that goes into it, you just
Because
wish,
no one else is making the social media posts for you.
yeah, you
Exactly.
gotta do it
Nobody's
yourself.
cutting the
Exactly. You
content.
have to
wish
be
you
your
had a
own
manager
ambassador.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it is fun. Don't get me wrong. It is fun when people engage and you're creating it and you're like, okay, cool. You know, people are reacting to it. But to constantly be having it in the back of your mind, I wish I could just create and just, phew, there you
Have
go.
a content creation day.
Exactly.
For me, like the thing is, like I kind of fell off of it, and it's what you said. You know, like once you kind of like stop, it's hard to get back on the horse, in my opinion. And like I used to love it. Like I was making pretty decent money and like content on YouTube. Like I said, like for me, I love educating, and I guess you just gotta find what you like. And for me, it's like, all right, cool. Like if you put out like videos of like, hey, here's my new song, unless the song is really dope or like you get lucky or you're really pretty, right?
Thank you.
Like Dan, right? Like he's gorgeous. So when he does
some bastard.
when he does his hand pan videos, right?
know
Like
what
they
those
immediately
hands
go viral. But for me, like I used to love it, like being in front of the camera and like playing. And I did a video right before coming here, playing an Avenged Sevenfold song in like different tunings. And so working with being a photographer, videographer, and all that, like I know like what it takes to like get there. But like Greg said, you know, like sometimes it sucks. Like fuck, like I don't feel like it. I don't have that motivation. But then for me, what I just recently realized is like, damn, like I kind of felt in a bit of like kind of like self-consciousness for a few years, and I it's the blame is fully on me. But I started dating this girl like a few years ago, not dating her anymore, and like she was very like realistic in the sense that only if you have like a real job, that's what matters. You know, like all this like music. She said it herself. She's like, this music's never gonna make you money. Guess what? You're wrong.
Love you too, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. So. So she
And you still want me to eat your pussy?
yeah. After that, I don't think so.
Wow, that was bad. Leave that to him.
That's your thing. That's your thing.
She wants me to perform coitus.
I ain't touching that thing, see?
Somebody stop me.
Anyway, you're saying.
Yeah. So long story short, like it's funny. Like I realized even like as an adult man, at least for me, I don't know about you guys, but like words stick. So right before I met her, I was at an all-time high, like playing. I believe I was, playing with Scorpio Season. We're getting really good traction, and then my own YouTube channel, like I was doing my own music, so I was doing Scorpio Season gigs where we were making really good money. My YouTube channel had just gotten monetized, and I was doing not only my music videos, putting out songs, but also like doing educational videos that got me quite a lot of money, and then. You know, this girl started telling me like, no, well, you're never gonna make it in music. Like, you need to like invest in stocks and like stupid shit like that. Which like I'm like, yeah, it makes sense like to do it on top of, but like this
Well,
is
so if you don't mind me asking, I'm gonna cut you off a little bit.
Yeah,
if,
go
if
ahead.
you don't mind me asking, if you're already gaining at least a significant amount of traction in comparison to where you started, right? To where it's noticeable. Right. If you're already gaining traction like that, outside the obvious of why it would have affected you, why did you let that get to you? Like, maybe that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
But if I was, let's say this podcast fucking, when it blows up, but let's say it blew up tomorrow, right? And I start getting all this money, and I'm like I'm more or less self-sustainable, comedy's going a lot better, whatever. And I have like data to show, like numbers that's like, hey, I'm doing pretty well for myself. And my significant other's like, you're never going to make it. I'm like, bitch, can you read? like what? What was it at the time, at least, that let you put value on that?
right. I think it was
And keep going. I'm just going to check the cameras.
Yeah. I think it was like a bit of like low self-esteem because like at this point, like if we think about it like chemistry wise, like this person's giving me dopamine. So it's like, oh, cool. I'm getting all the dopamine from this one person, which is a huge mistake. You know, like you're supposed to add somebody. If they add value to your life, that's cool. They become a part of it as opposed to like now this person's like my source of dopamine. And that was my mistake. So even like after like it's been like probably 2 years since we broke up. And it took me a long time to like really like realize like, hey, like, I getting back on that horse, like going back on like making music and putting myself out in front of the camera. And so like I didn't realize until recently, like, wow, like I was also like very self-conscious of like being in front of the camera. And it hasn't been like till like we've been making this, he's been helping me make the music video for my new song. And then like I also realized like I hadn't played like a show as Lost in a Memory with my music in 2 years, and we're gonna do that tomorrow, which by the time you watch this will be like a few days ago, because we're time traveling, right? But now, you know, like, and then I'm remembering, then I'm going back to the YouTube channel, and it gave me like the stats, right? And it's like, oh, your YouTube channel got this many thousands of views like in this year. I'm like, I didn't do shit this year, and I'm like, and I'm still getting that. I'm like, okay, so that's my motivation. What you said, you know, like now that I'm seeing the numbers, and I have nobody to prove myself to besides myself, and I find myself, how you said, like, oh, it fucking sucks. But now that I'm getting back on it, yeah, I thought the same thing. But now that I'm getting back on it, I'm like, this is so fun. Yeah. This is so fun. And I'm just, I'm kind of like all over the place where like, I'm like, music video, a video of me playing a riff. So I'm still like kind of getting back on it, but like zeroing in on like what's going to work for my audience, my goal to grow an audience, to make it sustainable, to have fun. And when you have fun doing what you love, it comes to you, you know, like whatever it is that you're seeking. So I feel like lately I've been like kind of like in that position of like positivity when playing. Now that, you know, like Dan's drumming and this dude's doing bass and playing guitar, we have another friend of ours, Gilby. A shout out to
Master
Gilby.
Shredder.
Yeah, Master Shredder. So all four of us.
Master Shredder.
Yeah.
Goddamn fucking right. He's Master Shredder.
I love the Ninja Turtles, dude.
Yeah, he's Master Shredder.
Yeah. And so like, before, like, it was like, you know, I was very protective of my music. Like, oh, people, like, I put so much effort into, like, people need to play it right. Now I'm like, dude, like, we're just four dudes that are, like, having fun. And when we have fun, that's why I told these guys, like, hey, let's, obviously, like, we are all, I would consider ourselves professional musicians. So, obviously, like, we're not going to put on a shitty show. But it's also, like, I'm putting my faith in you guys. You guys are putting your faith in me and your time and effort. And I'm like, that's going to show if we're having fun on stage. Because like I used to be in a band, 2 bands actually. And there was a lot of negativity when there was one mistake, you know, like on stage, one, like, let's say like if I was playing drums for a certain band and there'd be a mistake, like the guitar player would like look at me, like give me a dirty look on stage. And I'm like, bro, are you serious? Like, we're in front of people. Like, the mistakes will be made. We're going to make mistakes tomorrow.
Oh, you thought that was a mistake. Listen to this. You're going to love it.
Another band I was in, like, it was kind of heartbreaking because I was talking to a friend that used to go to those shows. And this was like 2-3 years after that band was a thing. And he's like, yeah, bro, like, I'm really sorry, dude. Like, I used to see from the audience how this singer used to kind of like yell at you guys when you guys would like, what? Yeah, like
sounds like a singer.
Yeah, and they, you know, like, and I'm like, yeah, and when I think about it, it's like, yeah, you gotta kind of have like a tough skin, but then it's like, no, you should not be in an environment where people are negative towards you.
Well, because there's a level just in the real moment of that happening on stage. There's a level of it where it's like, okay, you guys need to be skilled in the first place to be on stage, and I get it. Everyone cuts their teeth somewhere. Everyone fucks it. You have your bombing sets. You have your bombing like that happens, but at some point you have to like do a little bit of soul searching. Like, dude, should I be on stage? Like, am I? But then like, to make some mistakes on stage as a band and one of you is yelling at the other person, dude,
it creates such a negative, like just talking about it
killed the
doesn't
show.
Help. It doesn't make it better.
And first of all, it doesn't make it better within the band, but then like people see that and they're like, what the fuck?
Oh, you played in that band that had that meltdown on stage. Yeah, that's what you're known as. You know exactly what it. Yeah,
and that was embarrassing for me to hear. I'm like, you noticed that? He's like, yeah, dude, I noticed that the singer would do that a lot to you guys, and you know it was. And I'm like, and I was like, fuck. And I'm like, nobody deserves that, you know, like we're gonna make mistakes. Like if we make a mistake tomorrow, like like sometimes when you're shredding and like you make a mistake, it's like. And you
hit a pothole on the highway.
Yeah, and you're like,
that's a perfect way to put it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
No, that's a perfect way to put it.
Oh,
Hey,
shit.
That doesn't mean your fucking engine dropped.
No.
You just hit a potheole.
Yeah.
Move on.
You move forward, and that's it.
Sometimes you hit a lot of potholes. Sometimes you hit a giant gap.
Yeah, but
There's no coming out of that.
it happens.
But it happens. You know, you gotta.
But like, 'cause it's interesting. I'm learning this now as a comic. Like it's very interesting. I imagine it's a bit different from music, but it's interesting how much confidence and stage presence and charisma and just your ability as a performer, how much of that can mask mistakes, right? Because you guys are all very
preaching to the choir.
you're professional musicians, but like even if you're having an off night or maybe not doing as well as you probably should have, your confidence can make up for that to a certain degree.
Yes,
to a
yes,
certain degree.
yes.
Now, granted,
100%.
you can be delusionally stupid. Like that's definitely a thing that can happen. But if you're just having a not great night, but you're still having fun and you're projecting this image and you're projecting this energy, of like I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy all the crowd showed. Whether it's 5 people or 500, I'm so happy you guys all showed up. Blah, blah, blah. That can help mask any faults that you may or may not have during the show.
Absolutely.
That blows my mind that you were on stage with a singer and he was fucking yelling at you. I'm assuming it's a he. She. No shit. That's fucking...
Sounds about right. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And you know,
joking.
like, girls are
They started voting.
Put mine on the bronze. I'm kidding. No,
They got like
no.
No, it's easier for singers to do that because they don't play any instruments. So.
Okay.
Did you hear that, America?
Okay, I'll push
I'm
back on
target.
that.
Did you hear that in Mexico?
I will say this, though. A vocalist will make or break a band.
I was just thinking the same
Think
thing.
about it.
it's
Think
true.
about it like this, right? Okay, so Slipknot is a great example. Slipknot has now become a revolving door of band members that have left the band.
Yeah,
right.
it's
it's a whole thing, right? They are lineup wise, they are unrecognizable from what they were even in the mid 2000s.
Well, they do change masks every album.
Okay,
all right.
He used to do comedy, everybody. He still got it.
Honestly,
I used to, yes. You can see why it stopped.
He still got it. but you can still, as long as those band members that get replaced, as long as the new guy can come in and play the notes well, still fit into the energy of Slipknot. And again, it does obviously help a lot. They're behind mask, but as long as you can still play the music properly and fit the overall image of what Slipknot is, still going to be a good show.
Can you do the job?
But if you change out Corey Taylor,
You're done.
it is no longer Slipknot.
Yeah.
It is a completely, that's my whole thing. And this pisses off a lot of people when I say it, but Linkin Park is no longer Linkin Park. Like, categorically, they are no longer Linkin Park. I'm not saying that Mike, I can never pronounce his last name. Shinoda. I'm not saying he wasn't
I like
important.
all three. It was Shinoda.
But he is very important to that band. Not just in composition, but in the songwriting, and just he's literally half of the vocals. He's very important. But for maybe it was his talent, his offstage likability, the marketing of the group, whatever this weird alchemy and equation of a band that Linkin Park was, Chester Bennington was the face of it. He was the head of the snake. And with the new chick coming in, that's not really Linkin Park anymore. It's like, it is Linkin Park, but just like...
It's Jackson Park.
It's like they tried a side project, but they didn't want to make a new name. Like if you never knew that Chester Bennington died, for some reason, let's say somebody lives in under the heaviest rock ever,
Or my parents.
and thought, well, damn, for real?
Well, they're old, you know. It's like
Aww.
if you're past a certain age, you're not going to know.
But
what
that was like
bands
a
that millennials grew
cultural
up with.
thing for Chester dying.
Right, yeah.
Dude, like I'll never forget where I was. I was at my day job. I was working at a diner. And I remember I was in the back in the kitchen. I was putting dishes away. And I opened up my phone and it said Chester Bennington dead. And I was like, oh shit, Chester Bennington died. And one of the cooks, she was like mid 50s, breaks down crying.
Holy
like
shit.
on the spot. Just fucking, why did you fight? What?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, like this is a cultural, like this is like a moment for like certainly American entertainment.
Millennials.
Yeah.
But like just a global thing, how big that band was. So like it's just for the argument's sake that you never knew that he died, that maybe he just left or he quit music. Now the new person's in the band. It's like they're doing a side project, but it's not. Like they didn't want to change the name. Like it's not Linkin Park. Like that's not it's like their sound changed almost. Outside of the obvious like the different singer. This is in my opinion. Like it's night and day. I know all of you clearly disagree with me. Clearly disagree.
I haven't heard the new album, so.
But like, I couldn't get through it.
Really?
I listened to like the first 3 songs, and I was like, "This isn't." And I was open minded as I possibly could.
Yeah.
So I wasn't never married to like the loving Linkin Park. I just appreciated like how great they were and how like I just appreciate like what they did for the genre. But I was never super heavy into them. Outside of like I'm a weirdo. I think their best album is and I'm losing the title. It's the one that has Castle of Glass on it.
Oh yeah, Living Things.
Living Things. I think that's their best album. Personally, and I know that's like
No, I know what you mean.
like
listen to that one again.
I personally think that's their fucking best album, but fucking nothing comes close to like In the End or One Step Closer, and like there are just songs that are so numb, it's fucking crazy good songs that created this whole image of who Linkin Park is and the sound. I couldn't get through fucking 3 songs of this new one where I was just like,
Let me play you some of this bullshit.
yeah, where I was just like, okay, like this is this is an album, and I'm sure somebody loves it.
It's jarring. No, I completely understand. Like, and I think like I think it's not so much like, oh, if you lose your singer 100%. In my opinion, it's not the band anymore, because I feel like some bands do it good. Some
AC/DC.
yeah.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the only band in the argument, the inverse, the only band that's really gotten away with it is Sabbath. That's the only one.
Part of that was because they weren't 20 to 30 years in their career, you know what I mean? Because
True.
that's why it's harder to see Linkin
Yeah,
Park
somebody
with the new
else.
singer, because
Yeah.
for 20 years it's been Chester until, till he died.
Well, I think another
Till he
big
left us
ass-
hanging, you know.
That's why it's harder to see.
Did he not hear that? Did that go over your head? Oh, that's a good joke. Fuck you.
That was a good joke.
I tuned out, dude. Like, I'm so sorry.
You're talking shit
I'm
about
still
Linkin Park.
torn.
You zoned out, bro.
I'm like, what?
I said Chester Bennington left us hanging.
Oh no! Oh no! No! No, like
Why you gotta do that to him, Noah? Why you gotta do that? We're all friends here. Why you gotta?
I think, for example, one that didn't hit for me, right, was 3 Days Grace. Like, they had that signature, like, the dude
I
that
agree
could
with
do,
that.
the
Yeah.
gravelly voice.
Yeah.
What's his, Adam Gontier or whatever. And then they got this new dude. He's an amazing singer, but just
different.
Very different from 3 Days Grace. And now they brought back Adam Gontier too, so now they're like 3 Days Grace 2X or something like that, and now they're both singing. I'm like,
That's like 6 graces.
Well,
That's-
the 2X is supposed to be the tease for the new album, right? Oh, right. That's the way that I heard it.
I
right?
haven't listened to a new song, but
Just
like,
because they're gonna make a whole new album with both of them on it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and for me personally, because like, I guess like how you mentioned, like, oh, like you if I kind of got that right, that you were a Linkin Park, like you liked Linkin Park, but like not like a stan. Or
Yeah,
like
I wasn't
a
super
hardcore
diehard
fan.
about it.
Yeah, and so me, like, growing up, like, Linkin Park was the shit. Like, that's where I learned my like production, from Mike Shinoda and all that. So like, I kind of like throughout the years since I was like 13, like binged all their like behind the scenes, and I knew everything about every song and all that. So seeing it from like that perspective, I was like, when I saw that new singer, I'm like, all right, like I understand why they kept the name Linkin Park, because like if I had and you got to think about it like a little selfishly, right? Like Mike Shinoda, right? Like he has expressed in his solo music like normal reactions, like he was pissed, right? Like it's the stages of grief, right? Like sad because of losing a friend, lost, and angry because like, hey, the thing that's feeding my kids, my family, like Chester took away, basically.
And all the work they've done.
All the work
Yeah.
that they've done, like like
All
decades,
the thousands of hours.
decades of
days,
blood, sweat, and tears, and
gone
all
like
that.
Days on the road, weeks.
Yeah.
months.
So now that they're back, it's like, all right, I understand. Like you've spent that so much of your, like more than, half your life on this one thing. Like, yeah, you bet your ass you deserve to keep the name Linkin Park. You decide what Linkin Park is. And he even said it, like, it's up to, the fans to like accept it. Like, we'd like for people to give us a chance. So with this new singer, like I was like, all right, cool. When I heard her sing like the Linkin Park songs, I was like, it was uncanny, like they're in different keys, and like she's not Chester at all. So I was like, once again, kind of like the Fast and the Furious thing. Like, let me take it for what it is. She's a phenomenal singer. Let me just like listen to this, and I'm like, cool. Then I listened to the new album, and I was like, let me listen to it again. Mm-hmm. And then by the third time, I was like, it gives me the same feeling. Like, there's this song, Two-Face in the album, and it gives me the same feeling as like One Step Closer. I'm like, okay, cool. So it took me a while.
Interesting.
It took me a while to like really be like, all right, cool. This is the new Linkin Park. I'd rather have this Linkin Park than no Linkin Park. And also, I'm like, it's a new flavor. It still gives me those feelings. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like we're
and I
chilling.
recognize, by the way,
Yeah, Noah.
not just in this conversation, but I recognize, like in the conversation generally, I'm in a minority. I know that I am.
I don't think so.
I think because I mean, their social media. I looked through their comment section. It seems like
they're blowing up.
It's a great reception.
Yeah.
and I
Those are from the people who like it, because there might be more people who just choose not
But
to.
a lot of
don't
people,
listen to it.
just like what I just said, like it's not to make it sound religious, but like a lot of people are getting converted. You know, like they're like, "Fuck that! Like, who the hell is this chick?" And like,
Yeah.
you know, and then
Which
like
is
they
understandable.
Yeah, and they listen to it. It's jarring. It's very jarring. Hearing In the End like played in like a different key and then like a completely different voice, and it's like cool. Like then you start realizing like, well, Chester's not here anymore. Like he's.
I will say this: credit where it's due. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna take a quick break. So I got a piece of fucking.
I got it.
So, have you guys watched the live benefit concert?
Yeah.
For Chester Bennington that they did. So, dude, it's this like hour and a half long concert, and every song is sung by a different famous vocalist. So they bring in like I forget most of their names, except for like it's like M Shadows does like 2 songs. The lead singer of Korn does a song. They bring in, I mean, they brought in, he didn't do that bad actually, but they brought in Machine Gun Kelly. He did a song. They bring in
Ollie Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon.
Yep. Ollie Sykes shows up for one of them.
A few of the writers that helped in the new album that they had at the time. This was like October or something. I was gonna go and then I didn't. Biggest regret.
I just did not.
Biggest
Yeah,
regret.
no shit.
Biggest regret.
But like it's a super cool benefit concert, and then at the end of it, they bring all of them out, and they do.
I think it was like Bleed It Out.
At the very end.
With
Yeah.
like everybody on stage.
And M Shadows upstages all of them, but it is it is what it is. But
Just singers trying to work together.
yeah, and then he just fucking belts out like a god.
Nice.
But it's a great concert. Great show they put on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's an interesting thing seeing, like, 'cause again, like with Black Sabbath, because there was a period of time, I think it's like one album where it was some random singer, I forget who it was.
Yeah, it was some-
but it's some
no one.
one-off guy, didn't do the
Yeah.
12 left, whatever, and they brought back Dio for a bit. But Black Sabbath, in my opinion, is one of the only bands, if not the only band, that got away with it. And there's an argument, I don't believe in it, but there is an argument that the Dio years are better than the Ozzy years.
I don't believe that at all.
Well, you can't say one thing's better than the other. It's
They're
just what you
different. They're
wanted, what you
completely
prefer.
different.
I
Yeah.
like Dio Sabbath more.
See?
And I've told you that one.
Yeah.
But it's like 1A and 1B.
Well,
I
dude,
just like
I
it a little
gotta
bit more.
say-
I'm not gonna say it's better.
But here's
I
the
just
thing,
like
though.
it
For
more.
me, I like Black Sabbath was my
quote me.
first like metal band, rock band that I really got into. Like Volume 4 is one of my favorite albums of all time, right?
Master of Reality.
But yeah, Master of Reality is fucking amazing. But I will say this: I will put Heaven and Hell.
Heaven and Hell, man.
That album's great, but the song, I will put the song Heaven and Hell against any Ozzy song from the Ozzy years in Sabbath, because that song is just so fucking good.
It's good.
Yeah.
So fucking good. I'm gonna take a quick pee break.
For sure.
We're
Yeah.
good.
All right. Cool.
OnlyKings fans, we'll be right back.
.com.
Stay for a message from our sponsors.
Shout out to our sponsor, Enron.
I fucking wish.
Enron.
And we're back. Okay, so wait, have you? Okay, so because where this started was, okay, you're using the bathroom, and he looks at the Leatherface, and he goes, "What's this from?"
Like, dude, it's Leatherface.
It's from the
How-
movie
how do you-
Leatherface, you fucking
I mean,
idiot.
technically, you are correct. There is a movie called Leatherface.
Oh, what? Oh,
And it's
okay.
not very good.
Where is it? Do you know where it's from, Manny?
Have you never seen Texas Chainsaw?
I'm sure I have.
I haven't,
was
but
just
I know
too
that's
young.
where it's from.
You've never seen Texas Chainsaw?
I don't like horror movies.
Damn.
They're scary,
missing
man.
out.
I don't know if you know this. They are scary.
the whole point.
You know what I
What,
like?
really?
I don't know. Or just the ones where people get cut up, and I know it's fake, but just I can't handle gore very
Well, how
in movies or TV, video games, whatever. But
Like, in real life, like, it's
I'm
cool,
just like,
whatever.
oh,
but-
God.
How I was
wanna-
telling you about that movie. Have you guys heard of? And I know you guys haven't seen it yet, but have you heard of The Substance?
That's such a wild movie.
You've seen it,
Yeah.
I'll read the Wikipedia for sure. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
dude. I know you just said that you don't like that kind of shit, but I
don't,
think you would love The Substance.
Can you watch it with me?
Yes.
You hold my hand.
I'm down on
Let's all go
like
watch
do
it.
boys night.
Hold my hand.
Boys
Yeah,
night.
just sit in my
No,
lap.
it
I don't
is
care.
just based off of the practical effects and the practical, like the makeup effects that they do in that movie.
Yeah.
It's very because like the term body horror has really gotten like kind of watered down, and it's like what is body horror, what isn't. That is a throwback to like the 80s, like Cronenberg, like The
Yes. The
Fly.
Fly, all that shit,
Like, so basically what I don't want to spoil it, so I'm just going to tell you like what
synopsis.
I knew about it going into
I'll read the
it.
Wikipedia, but you can.
Did you read the Wikipedia?
Not yet.
Oh,
Don't
don't.
watch the movie.
don't wanna see
with
it.
as little info besides
so
what he's
basically-
about to
okay,
say.
all right,
Basically,
go
what
ahead,
it's
go ahead.
about is it's this super famous actress played by Demi Moore, and she's aging out of Hollywood, right? And she's very upset by it. She's not getting enough roles, and they just canceled her like fitness. She has this like what's the chick's name? Jillian Michaels. Like she's very like a Jillian Michaels like fitness line of shows that come out, stuff like that. But it got canceled, and they're looking for the young new person to replace her. And she comes across this thing called the substance that's supposed to make her younger. And it is, dude, talk about perfect pacing in a movie. It's 2.5 hours that flies by.
No, really.
And it just becomes this maddening, tension-filled, like, what are you doing?
Wait, what are you
Okay.
exclaiming out loud?
Yes.
Like what, dude? Like for a movie to get me to do that, because like I mentioned earlier, I do like to like be engrossed in the movie, but right away I was like, oh, that's gross. Oh no! What the fuck? Why?
So
Why?
good.
That yeah, like it got like a visceral reaction, like physical and then
Yeah.
like verbal out of me, and I was like, and then
The end of it just goes so balls to the wall in like there's absurdism, and then there's the end of that movie.
Yeah.
It is so absurd.
I didn't expect
Remember the
that.
end of The Flash?
So gross.
Well, because like there are points in like, you know how when movies are long and you're like, oh, it could end here and I'd be satisfied, and I was like that. I was like, it could end here, but I want to see more, and more kept happening. I'm like, what the fuck? Where are they gonna go from this? This should be where it ends, and it kept going, and it was like even better.
Because the way the end happens, it's like there's no way that like they're actually gonna, but then they do it, and then they take it further, and then they take it further, and then because it gets so fantastical that it's like, okay, this has to be like a dream sequence or like something. No, it's real. Like it all happened in that universe. It's like, oh my god, like it's so fucking great. Like I will say
Recommend.
this though, my favorite body horror movie, and I'm assuming you haven't, because you're not a big horror fan, but like if there's a horror movie you have to watch from the '80s, it's The Fly.
Oh my god.
Fly?
With
Jeff Goldblum?
With Jeff
Goldblum,
Goldblum.
yeah.
It's so
Gina
basically
Life finds a way.
it's so it finds a way in this movie, and it's fucked up.
I think I saw that when I was with my dad on cable when
It's
I was a kid. And I was
fucked
like,
up, dude.
I don't like that.
Ew,
gross,
Papa, I don't like
that."
it.
He's like, come on, son, don't be a pussy.
I want Barney.
Where's Goku?
Well, the very end of the movie, it does a really good. It's very like it's corny at times and cheesy at times, and it's kind of like tongue in cheek, but you still care about the guy, and you still care about the character. And at the very end, where he accepts his fate, is so fucking heartbreaking. Like, oh my god,
That's the real horror.
It
It's
tugs
just
at
like
you.
the real
Yeah.
life kind of.
It's
this
humanity.
is what my life is now.
Well,
That I-
because that's kind of like what the substance touches on. Like, again, with no spoilers, but it's like it's this person who, first of all, the character is played by Demi Moore, who is arguably like she's gorgeous, right? And she's an older lady, and like
She was big in the 80s, yeah.
yeah, and so it's sad to see like she, you know, once she reaches a certain age, which is such a real thing in, you know, like nowadays.
you're not
when-
marketable.
Yeah, you're not marketable anymore. We need like the hot, petite, dumber girl, you know, like to take your place, to
But
replace
the
you.
roles you get are like, oh, you're the mom, you're the
Yes.
this,
Yeah, you're no
the
longer the
teacher,
bombshell.
If you're
yeah.
getting roles,
If you're, yeah,
you're- oh, that's true.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so like seeing her like start to hate herself for how she looks and like how she naturally looks, and again, like she's not an ugly person, you know.
I would.
So then,
yeah, would
smash.
Would, yeah.
would.
We're on agreement? Okay, great.
But I'm sure that's a universal thing, you know. Sometimes like we wake up and we're like, oh fuck, like my hair doesn't look right, like this outfit is not it, like why do I have a gut, like I don't feel good in my own skin. And
Where'd that hair go? I had hair right here.
yeah, my hairline's receding, and
Dude,
it's like
it got to on a real note. It got to a point about 3 weeks ago where I was like, oh, that's a gut. Yeah. Oh no! I haven't worked
This
out.
right here?
Yeah, dude.
Gotta
Where I
pop
was
sun.
like, fuck, I haven't been training as hard. I've been using my surgery as an excuse. I had hernia surgery last year. Yeah. So I was like, fuck, I'm using this as an excuse. I've been eating way too much. I've been drinking way too much. I've been like, oh, this is turning into a problem. And I've had to force myself. Like I've drank more this week than I have. Like because I stopped drinking like maybe. I started like not drinking like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and then I started the diet a couple weeks later. I was like, fuck, I can't keep going to fast food places. Like, dude, is this where I live right now? Dude, in a 5-minute drive, there's a Taco Cabana, Stripes, Chipotle, Wingstop, Jimmy John's, Golden Corral,
Sonic
Cracker
McDonald's,
Barrel.
There's a Sonic right there. Yep. There's a fucking Panda Express,
Chipotle.
Yeah, and I've
You're
just
in
been
the middle of
fucking
the shit, yeah.
fucking piggy in
Feeling
his
fancy,
slop,
Cracker Barrel,
just
right
fucking
down the corner.
eating, dude.
Yeah,
so
man.
that's a real thing. I was like, fuck, I gotta lose weight. This is not good.
And it gets tougher the older we get.
Well, we've
dude.
been talking about
Yeah.
that lately, man. Like, it used to be like I could go drink and eat and nothing. And lately, the same here, I'm like, oh my God, where
You're
did
like,
this come
hey,
from? Like, what's
hey,
going
buddy.
on here?
Hey, where'd you come from?
Well,
Hey,
'cause I don't know how this is for you guys, but I just look in the mirror like, would I fuck me right now? I don't know.
I would.
I fuck.
That eye contact
Yes,
was wild.
Oh, he's good at that.
Hey, I'm just
He'll get
passionate,
you.
Noah.
You're getting so red, Noah. I think you liked it. No, last night actually, it's funny because me, like, I've always been a skinny guy with a fucking fast metabolism, and you know, like, I used to pride myself. Yeah, right. For years, like, no ab workouts, and I'd have abs and shit. And yeah, then like I did gain like a gut and all that, and I haven't been drinking either. I think like it might be a universal thing where like a lot of people in my circle like have been like stopped drinking as much.
The hangovers are gnarly.
Yes.
Yes,
You don't
which is
recover as much.
which I'm like
Well.
cool. I don't feel good when I drink that much anymore. And so last night, what I was doing is I was cleaning my
You
house.
all drink your fucking water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
you
it's that bit.
subconsciously planted that in my head. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so
I'm a
last
basic
night,
bitch. I don't care.
I was cleaning out my closet, and like I have done it throughout the years, throughout the months, like where I'm like, oh, this shirt no longer fits. And dude, I have bags, which after here I'm gonna go right across the street to like donate them. But like my favorite shirts, my favorite pants, like no longer fit.
I have a pile of jeans that no longer fit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So skinny
Hey.
jeans aren't the move anymore for me and
Oh,
stuff.
listen, dude, you're 30. Skinny jeans are not the move.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. Yes.
29's when you. That's like, okay, this is my transition year.
and
I can't be doing this. I need frames
can't-
on my posters. I can't just put the thumbtacks.
We
on
do
the
not
wall.
want to see your
I need a bed
30-year-old
frame.
dick print. All right. Like,
Right.
That is not.
You don't know
no,
me.
no, and it's funny that you mentioned that because like I also like I feel like I look younger. I want to say that. Please don't say otherwise because then that'll hurt my feelings. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like I feel because of my body, like I also like feel younger than I am. But then it goes back to like, bro, you're 32. Like skinny jeans, come on, like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And so, but also at the same time, I'm like, no, this is cool because like now I can gain the weight that I've always wanted to gain. So I always try to like see it in a positive
Can't
way.
relate.
What does that mean?
That now I can keep muscle. Dude.
Oh, okay, that
because
way.
before, like my
I can get
metabolism.
fat now. Oh my
Yeah,
I've been waiting
fine.
so long.
Now I'll be funny.
That's why I'm not getting married.
Yeah, no.
I was
get
going to
fat.
say,
I
that's
thought-
a lot of people when they get married. They're like, oh, I can get fat. I locked the
Oh,
bitch
I can-
down. It's time to get fat.
Like
hate
now,
that. I
I can
hate that so
stop
much.
trying in my relationship.
Yeah,
No, you got to try even harder.
No, yeah,
Gotta double it.
So now I think about it like fuck. Like now I gotta get just like what you said, consistent with the workouts. But I'm like, why fuck? Like why is
I
it?
can tell you
That
why.
is great.
I
I'll
can
tell
think
you.
of some reasons why.
Hey,
You know what I mean? Like, why did I say like, oh, like in a negative way? It's like no, like now it's like an excuse to like make it a habit and like get healthy because like I think about like I'm like I want to live for a long time, but not if I'm unhealthy. Like I don't want to be a crippled like 70, 80. Like we know some dudes that are like in their like about to turn 50 and they're miserable, like always complaining my fucking knees and like their gut and all this, and I'm like I do not want to be you.
Yeah.
Like you're the definition of everything I don't want to be, and so like now I get like
Yeah.
excited, like yeah, let's go. Like the other day I ran like 3 miles, and
out of fear.
it was at first it's like I don't want to be that guy.
You're running away from reality. Oh fuck, it's coming closer.
I'm laughing because that's some real shit.
It's true.
dude.
Yes.
It's true. Yeah, you kind of people are motivated by
fear.
fear of loss
Yeah.
rather than what they could gain.
Yeah, but then once you're there, it's like, why do I feel good all of a sudden? Like these like that dopamine, the endorphins. So like for me, like, and I'm sure for a lot of us, it's hard to like start the workout. Then you see like, oh, you see your 50-year-old peer that's like fucking diabetic and fat, and and you're like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be that. And once you're there, I start listening to music. And I'm like, fuck yeah, cool.
I'm still 32.
That's my 2 miles. I'm done. But then it's like, I can do another half, and then another half, and then you end up at 4 miles, and it's like, oh, this feels great. And you walk out of there like fucking like stumbling, like, and I'm like,
You're like, I think I dislocated
my hip.
I dislocated my dick, bro.
But
I should have gave up a long time ago.
but I'd rather feel that like burn, like fuck, like my legs are numb from like all those leg presses than like, oh, my knees are fucked up from like eating Panda Express. I ate Panda Express
carrying
or
earlier.
just
weight.
scrolling
Yeah.
on your phone or sitting
just
on
being
your
a
ass
piece of
doing
shit.
something as fun as it is.
Well, that's part of the reason, other than just giving up on TikTok in general. Just I fucking hated the engagement that I wasn't getting. Dude, I noticed that I'm less interested in my phone after I deleted TikTok.
For me, it was
TikTok
Twitter, bro.
is so fucking good.
Yes.
Dude, TikTok is so much fun. It is the best doom scrolling app because Instagram Reels don't hit like that.
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts don't hit like that. But just the TikTok of just laying like this, and be like,
And
2 hours later.
There are sometimes like these reels that like out of like, let's say like out of 300 reels, there will be one that like motivates me. And last night I came across one, like kind of like going back to like what we mentioned, like, oh, like sometimes we hate posting and all that. And then like I feel like after watching this reel, and I'll explain what it was, that we got so conditioned, like obviously like for that instant dose of dopamine, right? But then like when we start like rewiring our brain, like stop consuming and produce, And so like what I want to rewire my brain in is like no longer seeing the Instagram as like what you said, like you're not getting that dopamine from TikTok and you're feeling better. So now you got Instagram left. But now since you got, all this content, all these clips, maybe like you can open Instagram and like us, we can open Instagram and hit the plus icon as opposed to the, scrolling. And then we post a clip from like what we're doing. And like, then we'll rewire our brain into like, hey, this app is for creating my future and like monetizing and getting eyeballs to my project, So that's kind of what I want to start focusing on. Cause like I'm sure we all, like at night, scrolling on Instagram. For me, like, oh, it's till I get sleepy. And I'm like, now I need this.
Holy shit, it's
to get
midnight.
sleepy.
yeah.
Well, it gets to the point now where you think you're like, oh, I need this, like you said, to sleep, or like, oh, one more,
Just one
whatever,
more.
and then next 3
I'll go to
hours
bed
later
after
and
this.
shit. You know what I
I'll
normally
put it down
do
after just one more.
is I'm just like, you know what, let me find one real good, funny one, right? And you end up just scrolling, and like you're like, am I even actually engaging with this? You kind of just zone out,
And
you're
you
like,
can't
what
even
the
remember
fuck?
anything, huh?
Exactly.
Like,
You're
what was the
what
last reel you
fuck?
watched?
Exactly. And
Empty
you're like,
calories,
what am I
junk
doing?
food.
Yeah.
Of attention.
Well, because like when I'm in the old house I was at, but it was in the podcast the last time, I had a TV mounted in my room, and I was like, all right, you know what? When I move into the new place, no screens in my bedroom.
Nice.
I'm just gonna fucking raw dog sleep, fucking whatever, right?
Nice.
That lasted fucking 2.5 months because then
That's a long time, though.
what I found myself doing though is I would fall asleep watching YouTube on my phone.
That's what I've been doing too.
And then
That's what I've been doing for
and then I
5 years.
realized it like 3 weeks ago where I was like, oh fuck, if the argument is there that I made it worse because instead of just a giant screen on the wall, I've got this little thing fucking right here, and it's like fuck.
But you're aware of it.
Yeah.
That's the first step. And the next
11
step,
more.
The next step is the hard one, which is like weaning yourself off. It's an addiction, guys. Like if you think about it,
I'm
like
addicted.
Yeah, no, me too. Like I cannot like function without like having like YouTube like video essays, like all the stuff we talked about, like Marvel and all that.
5 hours of Mortal Kombat lore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Pick a subject. There's
Yes.
a video. There's a
Yes.
1,000 video essays, and you're like, yes, this is.
And like today, like I literally got up from bed because like I went to bed like 3 or 4ish. Like I said, like I was cleaning out like my house like crazy, and then I went to sleep like watching some video essay, and like in my dreams, because I'm a very like I lucid dreams, you know. Have you guys ever had those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a very vivid dreamer. But now what's on the YouTube that's playing on YouTube while I'm asleep, it's seeping into my dreams, and I'm like, my brain is not getting that rest. I'm dreaming like
About Jake Paul.
no, the other one. I'm having a dream. And then I'm hearing the fucking podcast. My brain's not resting. What the fuck?
Hey, you like
Did you
that?
say Jake Paul?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber, so you know.
He's only the guy that just
the guy
boxed
that-
Mike
yeah,
Tyson.
it's only
I
the
only
guy
fight
that-
Medicare qualified people.
Senior citizens? Yeah, so I'm
How crazy was it that Tyson interviewed with his son, kissed him on the face, and then walked away cheeked up 7 Ways to Sunday
Hell yeah.
for all of America to see?
Pura nalgas. Love it.
I didn't see that, but
how,
I didn't see it.
how is this real life?
no, I didn't see. Well, because one, I saw that everyone was just posting like, "Oh, I'm just waiting for Netflix to fucking load."
Yeah.
99%.
It was
like,
it was funny though, 'cause I was watching the fight live, and yeah, it was fucking blurry the whole time. But as the fight was ending, the quality just immediately got better. It was like, oh, people stopped giving a fuck. Okay, yeah, people are as fed up as I am right now. I was fucking mad after that fight. I'm gonna be honest, because like I'm not a huge follower of boxing.
the whole world was mad
You know?
after that
Like, I'm not a huge follower of boxing, but I really enjoy watching it, and Mike Tyson's the shit.
Yeah.
And just watching that, I'm like, so either you are gassed as an old man, and fair enough, or you are pulling the fuck out of your punches. And I don't know about you guys, but I saw a bunch of videos analyzing that fight afterwards where he clearly could have cleaned Jake Paul, but clearly he really went like that and then pulled his punch.
Yeah.
It's like, were you really fucking bought off? Even Mike Tyson has a price?
It's sad.
I think everyone's got a
Sad.
price.
No, honestly, like
Mine's $30.
Oh, fair enough.
Wait, 30. What will 60 get me?
I can tell you,
What if we
or
all
I
pull
can
in
show
together?
you, Manny.
Anyways,
I'm sorry.
no, isn't that sad? Like, there's no like it makes me fucking fear like what is real anymore. Like, one thing that I guess like my first like what is real and what is not anymore experience was like this was like 10 years ago, around 10 years ago, and I have a friend of mine that used to work in the news, and we were out drinking, like sometimes like when someone drinks a lot they start crying. It happens to me every once in a while, but so that happened to him, right?
Yeah, thing I do every now and again. You guys don't know that, right? Y'all know that? Yeah, y'all relate?
That
Just fucking with
Or I just get trashed and I just
like yeah. So anyways, so he starts crying. He's like, I'm like, bro, it's okay. Like, we're chilling. Like, we're gonna get an Uber, get you home. Like, you're nobody's seeing you. He's like, you don't understand the media. It's all a lie. And
oh no, oh boy.
This goes full Alex Jones.
Like I should have not asked him if he was okay.
I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, all the
Intergalactic pedophiles. They're out to get us.
The pigeons are listening to us.
The frogs.
all he said was
They're all
like,
gay.
dude, like all the news that you watch, like they're all bought by like corporations. Like they tell us what to report on and all this other stuff. Like nothing's real anymore, whatever. And I was like, that's depressing.
No, dude, your friend was a prophet. That's real shit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, you seen that clip, right? Where all the newscasters they're broadcasting the same,
same
shit
thing.
verbatim.
Yeah,
same
dude.
cadence,
Just
same
like-
words.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
fucking
the
scary shit.
funniest one that came out, I think it started that newer trend of like showing all the local news stations saying the same thing as the big guys, was after every fucking news broadcast, it was brought to you by Pfizer, brought to you by Pfizer. And it just blows out. It was like 50 different screens. And like with the Kamala Harris campaign, where they're all calling her this pinnacle of joy, or it is a campaign of joy. And that was like the running tagline. And then it was Joe Biden is sharp as a tack. They all were saying Joe Biden sharp as a tack. And then it was the obviously years ago it was the Russian agent stuff with Trump, and then just how they're all on the same fucking script. They're all like, it's fair if you're a part of a political side of a political spectrum and you have the same feelings about something. But I promise you, if there's a subject that we all feel the same about, we are all going to say it differently.
Yeah.
We're all gonna say it differently. We're not all gonna be on the same exact fucking script, saying the same line, the same fed thing. And that's something that I always get, that like That's one of the huge differences between the Republican and Democratic Party is that the Democrats have their fucking their narrative control down to a T. From the top, like CNN, MSNBC, CBS, all
And
the way
Fox
down
doesn't.
to local news. Oh, they do
The deep state.
Oh, they do.
Christianity's under
Oh, yeah,
attack.
yeah, but with
Mexicans are coming through the border in droves. Well,
right,
and
but with
attacking, they're all terrible.
But at least so they have the same talking points. At least with Republicans, they're like chickens with their heads cut off. They're all saying like the same thing. At least there's a different verbiage. You can literally get the Democratic Party side of the things, and it's the same fucking script every single time. And so yeah, people like that who obviously can't handle their marbles after a couple of beers or after a couple of whiskeys, they'll just start losing their shit. And fair enough. I fill my mind
heavy.
with this bullshit too. Like I'm right up there with you, dude.
that's why I don't do acid by myself.
Dude,
I'm gonna die someday.
Oh, you've done it by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Why? Why?
Well, 'cause I
You're bored.
I had the day off.
Oh my god!
fucking amen,
Hey,
brother.
real
Crazy, dude. No, I don't even
I've gotten
smoke
all, like,
weed
one
by
or two.
myself. I don't even
Really?
smoke weed actually.
Yeah, you don't smoke weed.
No.
So you don't do it. I
was like- I was like-
or with other people.
I was like, I don't even do meth by myself, bro. Oh wait, I've never touched this
I
stuff.
don't do both.
They're in the walls.
I think I smoked crack one time.
Morty.
Hey, you know
By
what?
accident.
We all make, dude,
accident.
years
Wait,
ago.
what?
Yeah, well, I think I
We
told
all
you
make
guys. I think I told you because I was 19 and I was with some former friends and we were smoking some weed and then one of my this guy, the name Eli. I'm not gonna say his last name. Don't name your kid Eli. He's gonna be a piece of shit. Eli or Josiah. Okay, so anyway, he goes out and he repacks the bowl outside. Stay with me, no. And and then he comes back inside. We pass it around, and then I notice I take a hit, and it just feels different. It tastes different.
You suddenly hate Ronald Reagan a lot more than the average person.
Oh, fuck Ronald Reagan.
I wish. Okay, I wish that's what happened. But anyway. Oh no. So then I was like, "What did you? Is there something different?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like one of those guys. If you just ask him a question, he's just gonna go all defensive and pissed off. Like, dude, can you just
Stay away from those
Can you
dudes.
just tell me? Well, I know that now. At the moment, he's my only friend. But anyway, so then the people leave, and I'm just kind of feeling really jittery. I don't know how to trying to describe being high to someone who hasn't been high on the thing that you got high on
the
is
good
really
stuff?
hard to describe. It was not good stuff. That was terrible. But anyway, like my two friends that I'd smoked with, they passed out, and I stayed up all night.
Oh, fuck.
Stayed up all night watching YouTube. Just like, okay, it's 3 a.m. I might as well just stay up. I got to go to my uncle's funeral the next day.
Oh my god.
Great uncle. He was like 90 something.
All these stories always
I go to work
happen
after.
a day before something big.
Something
like
shit-
I
some
had
shit you gotta
work
do.
or something.
Yeah.
You got one, but
So anyway, that's my crack story.
no, wait.
dude,
So
years ago.
so you stayed awake how long?
all night.
And
And then I had to stay. I had to be at a funeral, and then I left the funeral to go to work. When I was at the Bow Park, we had a concert, and I was there till midnight.
Jeez,
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was like 20, 30 something.
jeez, dude.
It was a
Dude,
long time.
years and years ago, my ex fiance at the time, when her and I were like, and it obviously wasn't successful. We were trying to like figure things out. Like this is like maybe it's already 2024, so maybe 7 years ago or something like that. I don't know, long time ago. And she was telling me, and this is one of the things that like, not because she made, because it's a mistake, things that we actually, things get laced, but just the way that she spoke, the way she spoke about it, I was like, oh, you're stupid. Okay, I no longer want you in my life. She was telling me this story about how she was smoking weed and it was laced with meth. And then, that's the reaction. No. That's the proper reaction. Like, and if you decide to tell somebody this, you're like regretful, remorseful, probably still a little scared, something like that.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, I still smoked meth last night. And I'm like, what?
As a matter of fact,
Yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? She's like, oh, it was just laced a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. And I'm
What
like, all right, okay.
She took it
okay.
so lightly.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I do my best, unless it's like super serious things. I try my best not to take life that seriously, because no one makes it out of life like that. It's very, very generic, but it's the truth, right? Try not to take things too personally. Try not to take things too like emotional, all that. But if I smoked weed and it was laced with methamphetamine, Do you know how quickly I would beat the fuck out of the people that
Yeah.
gave
Oh,
me
yeah.
that
Yeah.
weed?
Yeah.
And that, whether they knew about it or not, I'd beat them for being stupid and allowing, you know what I mean? Like that type of shit. But if you're like, oh yeah, it's like, all right, you're a fucking mouse.
Yeah,
you
you're
are
a piece of
stupid.
shit.
You're not.
You are
rational.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Just a little fent.
It's just
Like a little fin.
no big deal. Like, how zero survival instincts, man.
Yeah, no, for real, dude. It was
The older you get, I think the more you know how to filter out and avoid being in that situation. Because when you're young, you're kind of, oh, this is a friend's friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
you kind of hang
You're
out
like,
and you're like,
cool.
oh, he seems cool. And then they're like doing coke or
right.
Well,
doing other. Whatever.
I was thinking today, and I think we've talked about it like in one of our practices. Same thing. 19. I was 18 or 19, and back then there was the Bubble Lounge. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, God.
The Bubble Lounge, and like
That was a hookah lounge.
it was
right?
a hookah lounge, but they would allow you as long as you were 18 plus, or I'm
With
not
the
sure.
Guardian.
No, I guess. Yeah,
You're signing a waiver like it's Cliffs.
but
Hey, my son's got to pick me up later in case I'm all fucked up. You know what I mean?
so you could go up to the guy and be like, "Hey, we want to buy some spice,"
The guy.
Oh, God.
and
yeah.
it's like, "Who told you we have spice?" Like, you guys have spice. All right, cool. Here you go.
Who told you
Yeah.
we have that? Dude,
told
you
you we
have
have
it.
spice? Like,
okay,
what do you mean?
yeah,
It's
we
right
do.
there in the glass.
Yeah,
I'd
and
rather smoke crack again than smoke spice. Jesus.
yeah.
Again.
I've heard it's horrible.
It's the worst thing.
fucking
It's the
horrible.
worst.
You lose your
fucking-
mind or
it is-
something. I'm like,
it-
fuck that.
You've done it, right?
Yes.
You've done it.
No,
And you
I
have not
haven't
done
done
it.
it.
Biggest regret ever, honestly. Like,
I've done it 3
Another-
times.
I've done
Hoping
other
it would
shit,
be
but not
better.
that.
but then it, yeah, like you're 19, you don't know what you're putting in
Yeah.
your body.
You don't
and
know. You don't
yeah,
know
like,
anything.
oh, it's spice. It's like weed. It's
I'll
just
be okay.
synthetic. Like, no. And then like I got the worst fucking like panic attacks and
Panic
like
attacks. I felt like my heart's gonna pound.
Well, I've
Yeah.
heard
my
it's
chest.
like you're microdosing an ego death. That's
Holy
what I've
shit.
heard.
I guess
or
the-
just death.
yeah,
It
yeah.
feels
it's
like my life was
now
gonna end.
I had anxiety after that. I didn't have anxiety before that, dude. And
Spice or-
from spice, dude? Yeah, after that I was never
Spice
the same.
helped you?
No, it got me anxiety. It
Oh.
gave me anxiety.
You said I didn't. I had anxiety, and then I smoked spice.
I
and then-
never knew what
let
an
me try it
anxiety
again.
attack
Let me
was.
see.
And and after that I was in and out of the fucking hospital. The people are like, it turns out you're just depressed. Take these antidepressants, and it just led me a spiral.
Here's a pill.
of-
There you go.
Yeah, so
Holy shit.
that shit.
Wow.
But then it's like, and now you know like how we said like, oh, I don't smoke weed. Like the only times that I do smoke weed is like literally when our friend Daylin is like there after our shows, and she's like, you want to smoke weed? And half the time I'm like, no, okay, sure. Is this the sleep? I don't know shit about weed. I'm like, is this the sleepy stuff or like the kind that will make me hyper? Like, no, it's late. It's the sleepy stuff, or like, or I don't know what the fuck the sativa, all that shit is. You know?
Strains and this whole.
Yeah. She starts explaining it. I'm like, it'll make me feel good, right? Yeah, cool. And I'll smoke a little bit.
Yeah, I had to say.
And it's nice because like I feel safe. I trust her, and I trust like my circle. I think that's literally the only time I will take.
Well, I mean, that's a huge reason why I stopped taking mushrooms, dude. Is there's like a 3 or 4 year period of time where I was taking mushrooms like a couple times a year, maybe like 2 or 3 times a year, and looking back on it, it's a very horrible idea. We didn't know at the time, so me and my buddies, Halloween of 2020, we decided to take 8 grams of mushrooms each.
Shit.
Each.
How many of you were there?
There was like 5 of us.
Yeah.
It was well, but that's what we would do is we would get together and we would take like 4 grams and just hang out and chill
Yeah.
and get fucking
Have a good
out of
time.
our minds and
Be a little silly.
And there were a couple of trips where like for maybe 30-40 minutes like, oh fuck, oh it's all over, oh my life is ending, I don't have kids. And we'd be fucking crying, but then
Yeah.
that would pass like, all right, back to the nonsense.
Anyway,
But this
Phoenix
one,
shall rise.
dude, this one was 6.5 hours of just death.
Oh my god.
Ego death. And I remember when it was fine for like an hour and a half, and then it like hit me, and then it hit my buddy, and then it hit him, and it was like fucking popcorn in the microwave where we all started like going through this trip down this downward spiral. And I remember we were in my buddy's apartment, not a very big place at all, and I remember like in the thick of it, I was like holding myself like this, losing my mind. I didn't know who I was, where I was. I didn't know how to use my phone. I looked at my phone screensaver as my girlfriend. I didn't know who she was, and I didn't know what was going on. And they tell you like not to get high and then look in the mirror, but that's what I used to do. And
that was the first thing I did.
Well, I would have fun with it. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, right.
You know?
With your cheeks
Yeah.
and shit.
You notice all the
but-
details
Yeah,
in your
like,
face
what the
and
fuck?
shit.
But then I passed my buddy's bathroom and I caught myself in the mirror. I pulled back and looked at myself, and I like sobered up for like 30 seconds. And I was like, oh, good job, dude. Like, this is it. You're the guy that ruined their life with drugs. You're going to go to a mental asylum. You've lost everything. You just got back from a deployment, and you lost everything.
Damn.
Like,
And your podcast
like
sucks.
yeah.
You're not funny. No one laughs at your jokes.
Right? And I was just like, no more girlfriend, no more friends, no more freedom, no more life. Dude, you're done. You are now going to be in a mental asylum. How you're about to feel is the rest of your life.
Wow.
And then snapped right back into it. And it was just another, like, maybe 4 hours of just
That's
death.
torture. That's
and then
torture.
afterwards,
No.
I asked my buddy, I was like, hey, man, we're going to crash here, but, like, can you drive me to my condo? It's, like, 10 minutes away. I need to grab some stuff, and I'll buy you a pack of cigarettes, whatever. We're driving there, complete silence, because he had felt it too. That like we all had a horrible trip. Jesus. And then we go get my stuff, buy him a pack of cigarettes from his 24-hour spot, and then we're driving back, and we're looking at each other like, dude, this fucking sucked.
0 out of 10.
Yeah,
Would not recommend.
But on the positive side, though, I was like, ever since then, because then what happened after that was in January. I decided to take 2 grams, but I would like blend it into a smoothie. But I only ended up taking like, I maybe took like 1.5 grams at most. Mm-hmm. And it was so bad that it took me back to that spot that 8 did. Wow. Where I was like, okay, I was like, you know what? I thought I learned my lesson. Now I really have. And I was like, you know what? Life can get fucking hard, and life has gotten bad since then. There's been bad times, but nothing has ever compared to that just micro dose of hell that I had that night. I was like, all right, it helped me with a perspective change and helped me like not be so stressed out, really calmed me down, all that kind of stuff. But now I'm just like,
Never again.
literally,
Can't touch the
I think about mushrooms and I get sick to my stomach.
Oh, no.
Like never again, dude. Never again. No.
So 8 is the limit.
Dude. Well, now when I tell that story
So
to
from
people,
what I understand, 8 is the don't do
well, I know people now that are really well versed in mushrooms and they've taken them a lot, whatever. And whenever I say 8 grams, they look at me like, "What the fuck is
What are
wrong
you,
with
preschool? Oh, no, that's like too much.
They're like, holy
Oh,
fuck, that's
okay.
way too much.
Okay.
Well, because apparently, so we would fuck around with 3 to 4 grams. Apparently, 4 grams is a heroic dose.
Wow.
And I just never, we knew that's what we fucked around with.
Yeah, that was
So
Tuesday.
no, fuck that.
I was microdosing for a while last year, and granted, like it was pretty helpful because like
like 0.5 gram, right?
I don't
Or
remember how
so.
much it was. It was tiny, dude. Like it was a tiny amount. I would just
Like not even a cap, right?
yeah. I don't know my grams and all that, but my friend taught me like, oh, just do like this, just bite into it, whatever. And so like it was cool because like I was doing it like pretty much daily, and it would. You know, like it would help, like with my mood and all that. But there was a time, and this was that moment. It wasn't nearly as bad, but still, it was hilarious in the sense that at the time I had I think it was like 2 years ago, or I don't know, 2 years ago, and I had my photography studio in front of UNM, and so I was hosting an event like an art gallery of sorts, where on half of the building, because it was a big place, I had my friend's artwork on one half, and then on the other half I had prints from my photography. So the goal was to like help him sell some artwork and help me meet new clients, and then have people come in. We had music. We had I think you played, right?
I did play, yeah.
You played some music. We had a PA, and it was cool. We had pizza and all that, so it was cool. But it was stressful because like last minute, like we printed all the flyers like literally the day of, and it was during art walk, so we were like stressing, like handing flyers out. So my friend's like, hey, like let's pop some, like a shroom and like fucking get this done. So we're running, doing some cardio, and then the shroom is like doing its thing. And then I believe we popped another like little dosage, whatever. We end up at the back of the studio, and people start showing up. It was cool, like strangers. So it was like I was hosting an event. I was like, oh, okay, no pressure. And then the fucking mushroom starts hitting.
and then the mushrooms kicked in.
Oh my God. I was about to open a double white, and I was like,
Is this Cap talking to me right now?
I was like, I can't.
What is going on?
To the point.
I can't. What?
Yeah, and then I was freaking
That is
out.
the most accurate representation of mushrooms.
Yes.
Is looking at something and go, I can't. What?
Well, then, yeah, my photographer friend
Oh
was
my God,
next
I
to me.
love
This is funny because, like, like he's talking to me. I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? I thought he was a stranger, right? And then he's like, yeah, dude, check it out. Like, he starts showing me some photos that he took. I'm like, oh, my friend shot those. He's like, bro, it's me.
You idiot.
I'm right behind him watching this, and I'm like, dude, you don't know who you're talking to, bro? Like,
I was like, oh, dude. And that's when it hit me. I'm like, I'm on shrooms. I tell him. So then I grab a pizza, bro. And like while the event is going, I sneak out the back and I go in my car, dude. No plate. I put the pizza on my, like, the side, panel, whatever.
Like a slice of pizza?
A slice of pizza, bro. And I'm like, I need to eat. How do I get out of this? And then I made the mistake of going and like looking at myself in the mirror, and I started freaking out. I was like, fuck. So I somehow got through the event, and then afterwards, like, all the friends stuck around. I saw Greg's aura, bro. It was black, dude. It's like, the Super Saiyan aura? It was black. Him and my cousin.
he's like, get away from me.
I was like, what the fuck?
The Grim Reaper's really undercompelling right now. It's
like
really
Greg all
underwhelming.
along.
An angel or a demon?
What's going on, bro?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so after that, like, I was like, I didn't touch the stuff again. I think I may have done it once, and then it just didn't hit it the same anymore. So I'm like, okay, like, but I get it. Like, these, like, psychedelics and all that, like, you got to proceed with caution.
Well,
You know,
for some people,
everything in
they work.
moderation.
Yeah, for some people, they work.
And they worked until they didn't.
And for some people, they break your brain a little bit. Yeah.
It
Like,
depends, man. You go into this weird, like, either you freak the fuck out, or like I did mushrooms too. We were in that same little era, right? And I did some mushrooms too, and I started listening to Santana one night, bro. And I listened to Santana 1, 2, and 3, and I like discovered religion, bro. I was like, Santana is fucking God. I was like, this is amazing, bro.
You discovered happiness, dude.
what's
Oh,
funny?
okay, that's what it was.
you go.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
funny
For
like
a second,
taking psychedelics or smoking a little bit of weed, getting stoned, and then listening to like Santana,
Oh, my
Jimi
God.
Hendrix. I mean, anything out of the. I don't even like the Grateful Dead, but like the Grateful Dead, like the psychedelic rock, Pink Floyd, and yeah, well, for some people, I'm sure, Tool, yeah. But you listen to this stuff and you're like, oh yeah, they were on drugs.
I get it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're like,
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
Well, I was getting into a really creative space. I'm pretty sure I wrote "Break My Heart," like at least the instrumental on shrooms. And I was trying out like things. Excuse me, like the song is like most of the song is like basically like 3 chords, but like it sounds like it's a lot more based on the instrumentalization of it. And I'm pretty sure like that's one of the songs. I did some other demos, and I was like, fuck, I just unlocked creativity. And it's tempting now. I'm like, oh dude, like I should pop one and then just like lock myself in, like pop some like microdose, lock myself in my room for like a week and just come out with a cool new album. But then after
Like
that,
Stephen King writing a book on coke.
Oh my God.
he did
Doesn't
that.
remember a moment of
you didn't know that?
Dude, he doesn't
Oh,
remember Cujo.
Yeah, I was
too.
gonna say he
writing
doesn't remember
Cujo.
writing.
He's like, and then I'm gonna put
Yeah.
a cosmic turtle here, Morty.
Yeah, there are books he doesn't remember because he was too either
Way
coked
coked
out
up.
or
He was
coked
coked
out.
up,
Yeah.
yeah.
He said he would like drink like an 18 pack a night,
Yep.
or like a day one time when he was.
He was. I think he was like hammered for the most of The Shining.
Wow.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, yeah.
You kind of have to be to watch it. Fucking, I'm sorry, it's boring.
He's gonna kill her. Fuck.
I did that stuff twice and then never again because I was at, I would say at a pretty low point. This was like 2017. I had just broken up with a girl back then, and back then I didn't know how to handle a breakup, properly.
Most people don't.
Yeah, it takes you honestly, I believe that you got to go through multiple breakups to like really like okay, I know what to expect.
I'll be all right.
It's yeah, I'm gonna be okay.
Like compartmentalize it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And back then it's like, this is the worst pain. Like I hate myself, whatever. And it doesn't help that I was friends. Cool dude. But he got me like, hey dude, like let's do some coke. You'll feel better. So we'd be
That is a horrible friend. That,
good person.
He's not. I'm just kidding. But yeah.
For-
He's the devil on your shoulder.
was that you?
No.
You're advocating for this guy pretty hard.
No. He's not.
defending him. I'm just kidding.
He's not in the picture anymore. I'm sure he's doing a lot cooler shit than back then, better. But yeah, like you'll feel better or whatever. No, this was like 2020 actually.
Yeah, this was 3
19
weeks
over.
ago. But anyway,
This was like right before I came here, bro.
yesterday.
No, I'm just kidding. No, and then yeah, so like we were getting hammered, and then like we do the thing, and then all of a sudden like I don't feel drunk, but I am.
It's weird how it does that.
And then, like-
from what I've heard.
Yeah, no, and then like you want some before you go home? Yeah, cool. All right, dude, peace. And now at that time I had a Mustang, and then so like I found myself feeling invincible. And so like I was drunk.
That's scary.
Yeah, and I was driving.
coke in a Mustang.
I was driving my Mustang, which is like stick shift. So I need one hand free, one to steer. But on the other hand, I was on the freeway speeding, and I was like swiping through Tinder. So I was like, I was in like
Talk about speed dating.
yeah, and so
That was good. I like that. Talk about
no, and I think about it now, and I'm like, who the fuck does that? That's like suicide right there. Thankfully, I made it home, and then the next day,
any matches.
Pretty sure, but I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's
okay.
doesn't matter.
They can't hang.
so the next day, because like I was working at a call center at the time, and they had really good benefits, and one of the benefits was like free therapy or whatever, like counseling. So I fucking reached out, dude. I was like,
Help me.
right?
Free therapy.
That job sucks so much.
Exactly.
They have
Yeah.
therapists on hand.
That's
if
a
the
call
therapist
center.
doesn't work, we have nooses ready to go in
Yeah.
the other room.
If that doesn't work, we could do some coke. I know a guy. His name's Manny. He drives a Mustang.
No. And then they asked me like, have you ever had thoughts of like harming yourself or killing yourself, which I never have. But then I'm like, well, what
When
I
I
did
clock in.
what every day, man. I'm like, what I did last night, to me, like that's as close as it gets to like suicide, like drinking a lot, doing a line, drinking some more, doing a line, speeding, not looking at the road while driving at like fucking 90. I was like, yeah, like I did this last night, and they they coached me through it. I just needed like 1 or 2 sessions, and then I was like perfect. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like
one session per line or what?
yeah, like I called the next day, like, all right, here's no, but like
After your fourth, the fifth one's free.
yeah, and then like I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna touch this stuff again. Like before I even like, because I've had many chances to like do things like that, but then you got to realize like what kind of person are you? Like I have an addictive personality, and thankfully like and that was like 0.0000001% of like my life, but like the rest is like I've been addicted to like making music, doing photography, like positive things generally, so I'm like that's why I always like steered clear from like even weed, because I'm like, well, first of all, for me personally, like I don't like how it smells. I don't like having stinky clothes, and I don't like being in a stinky car that smells like weed. So I'm like, that was my anti-drug with that. And then with stuff like harder stuff, I never up until that point touched it, because I realized like, hey, I have an addictive personality. It's gonna feel great. It's gonna make me feel invincible. I don't want to feel invincible, because then I'm not gonna want to come back down to earth.
Yeah.
And then like the mushrooms later on, which was like last year or 2 years ago. It was cool because it's like, hey, you're microdosing. It's all natural, which is great. Like, if it works for you, it works for you. I'm sure if I did it right, it would still work for me. But now I'm at a point where I feel like, dude, like, I'm not even drinking. And I think that was the secret all along, because, like, the alcohol is a depressant.
It turns out the depressant was making me sad.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? And it's like those things, like, once you grow up, like, oh, I'm never going to be that boring, like, 30-something that doesn't go out and drink and speed on his loud-ass car. Now I'm like, I'm that 32-year-old that is at peace with a quiet car, that I can just be at home, and that I don't need to drink. Like every once in a while, like maybe for the show, I'll probably have one just in case the nerves start hitting. Maybe I'll have a beer on stage. Who knows? But am I gonna get plastered? Fuck no.
Well, we can end it with this. It's interesting now, and I've always been very much of an introvert, but really, as you were saying, as I'm starting to get a little bit older and learning how to like prioritize what things are positive in your life and what really like makes you happy, especially like between, I know you guys can relate to this doing all the music that you guys are doing, but if I can find, it's very rare, but if there's a night where I have nothing planned and I just kind of sit down in silence for a little bit, and it's just like
The best.
oh my god,
Isn't it so cool?
oh my god, but then on the other hand, it's like, well, I could have this every night, but I wouldn't be like working towards anything, whether it's the podcast or like comedy or like my relationships. You have to work at a relationship, right? You have to spend time in that. It shouldn't be a chore too, but like it's still a thing
It's an obligation.
It's perfect. It is an obligation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you do have a night where you're just like, I love podcasting, I love doing stand up, but like I don't have to tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like.
Isn't it awesome?
After a while, you owe it to yourself too.
Yeah.
Do that. You know what I mean?
Like I was sick as fuck last week, like through Thanksgiving, and that forced me to stop for a bit. And I was like, dude, I played video games with my friends tonight for like 3 hours straight.
Oh wow.
It's like that one North Korean tear, like just going down your fucking.
You no
all I've
longer
ever
have that
wanted.
guilt.
Yeah.
For me, like it goes back to, that ex that I told you about, and like I don't think she has a choice. Like she has like kids, so she's got to. Got him.
I knocked that bitch up and ran, son.
No,
She
not,
still can't find me. Ah.
not my kids. But like people that have kids, for example, like they don't have a choice like to take a day off, right?
Yeah, that's
That's so fucking funny.
I understand what you mean.
Should I do stand up?
Just kidding.
No. So like there are some people maybe they haven't found that balance. And for example, when I was in that relationship, like the fact that she didn't have that, but like she needed to always be working, like fuck, like we got to work on our business plans and we got to go do this and we got to clean the house and like the fucking roof is falling apart and shit like that. And like when because like I don't have those responsibilities. There'd be times when like I wanted to relax and like what are you doing, like playing video games and shit. And I internalized that whenever I would play video games, because like I bought a PS5 a year and a half ago or whatever, when I didn't have like PS4 for like years. Then I've always had like a video game console. And then like when I would play, I would feel so guilty. Like, dude, like I'm not growing my social media. I'm not like working on my photography website.
I'm not exercising. Learning another language.
What is this adding to my life? But then it's like, bro, this is helping me breathe. This is helping me relax. And there will be time, like you said, like in a relationship, there's that, you gotta, you can only do so much. And so like me and this guy have been like also struggling when like we were in like different music projects, And like I'd be like, cool, like I want to do Lost in the Memory, but I also want to do like this other band and this other thing. And then you grow up and you realize like, hey, you can only do so much.
Zero in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, and even now, like photography, like music, my relationship, and me, like those are my things. And it's nice that there is me time in there,
Yeah.
and that I have like, that I've like weeded out. People weed themselves out that will drain your energy like there's like, I think like with the stuff that
I think we've all played in a band with at least one person who does that.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, not our band, right?
No, go ahead. What were you saying? I love you.
Motherfucker about to get voted off the island, bro.
Hey,
Yeah, if we're
that's why
bringing,
you be good at drums. So it makes it harder to do that.
yeah, if we bring it back to bands, like I going back to when I was in the worship team back in my church, I was a worship leader and then also like part of the worship team, and there was always those people that would just drain me, and I didn't realize it in the last two bands that I was in. Like I didn't realize how much like hurtful and like draining of my energy these people were, and they just wanted me for that. And like I'd be like, well, you know what, I can do that and Lost in the Memory. Guess what? No, it's not possible. For me at least, I realized, and just when you start being kind to yourself, like people like the people that want like to get all that shit out of you, they get mad. They get mad, and like eventually like they leave your life, or you have to cut them off. Yeah, literally, that's been my thing like the past few years, like because like I've been a people pleaser for my entire life. That's how we are raised. I was literally in a cult, dude. That's what they would call it, el culto cristiano. It was a Christian church, whatever. But they raise you to not be able to speak up without like punishment. They raise you to be a people pleaser, basically. Like your goals don't matter. What matters is what God says. But what God says is literally what the pastor's telling you to do and all that. So I grew up like that, like people pleaser, and it's taken years and years of self-reflection, working on myself. But then like once I started putting up the boundaries, which honestly my boundaries are the simplest fucking boundaries that a human person can have. People hate that. Certain people, the wrong people, fucking hate boundaries.
But it's basic human decency, right? You would be like, why is this so hard to understand? But
Yeah.
people are always like what
They
the
make you the
fuck?
bad
Yeah.
guy. And I find it, I used to get so hurt about it, but now I find it beautiful because I'm like, yes, you're proving that I am doing this right. And then you end up with like a little crew of like people who genuinely care about you, dude. Like when we have our practices, dude, like everybody's cool as fuck. You, me, Gilby, well, hopefully me. This guy,
Greg, yeah.
yeah,
I
Greg
was like,
too, I guess.
Just a fucking asshole.
Like we can joke, and then like the thing is like we can be like, oh, what if you try this on the drums? Like, oh, what if you try this on the vocals or whatever? Like, bro, that's cool. We fuck up, and it's not like
Or if like
You
you know,
fucking suck.
or you forget the lyrics, I'm like, it's funny.
Yeah. Like
Who cares?
Like we're not here to be perfect. We're here to like have fun and respect each other
And do our best.
And do our best.
Yeah.
Do our best. So yeah, dude, be kind.
Cool shit,
Rewind.
man.
Be kind,
Well, it's been a lot of fun.
This was fun,
yeah,
man.
dude.
Thanks for
Fun, man.
having
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah, we should do this all again sometime. This is a lot of fun.
Therapy
On
session.
mushrooms.
Oh no, you will see me die. No. Before we get out of here, where can everyone find your guys' music on your social media like handles, platforms? Whoever wants to go first. Where
Start
can,
with that guy.
Where can people find you?
Like my address? Is that what you're asking? Like I don't want to tell that. Oh, I'm on Instagram. That's the only social media I'm on. I'm in Just Velvet. I play with Lost in the Memory. I play in Alba Karaoke. I play with Micah Thunder. My friend. I play with Lillian sometimes. I play drums. I play handpan. I'm a handpan Dan. Thank you, ma'am. On Instagram. That's about it.
Why are drummers such a whores?
What's your
Everybody wants us.
What's
man.
your
Yeah.
Instagram handles?
The Amazing Spider Dan?
Hey,
I love it.
I was 19.
fuck yeah!
You know you can change it at any time, right?
Well, why?
No, keep
man?
it.
No,
Keep
I'm
it,
not
keep it.
cheating.
You're
I ain't
keeping
changing
that.
shit.
You're married to it, bro.
I don't have to.
It's-
There's no underscore, no numbers, but the Amazing Spider-Man, and then Handpan Dan. Just look up Handpan and you'll find me.
Sick.
You gotta check out his Handpan album on Spotify.
It's very good.
What's
It's
it called?
really good.
Primavera.
Primavera. I was gonna, yeah.
6 covers, 3 originals.
For me, you can find my music as Lost in a Memory, youtube.com/Lost in a Memory, and my photography, Photonuel, Photonuel, and that is it.
That's it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
Lost in a
cool.
Memory and Photonuel. That's all I am.
Cool. Well, Gregorio. I just go by my name, you know. But you can find me at El Gregorio on Instagram. Yeah, that's it. I've got an album out. I'm just gonna plug it in.
What's the name of the album?
What's the name of
An
name it
Absence of Meaning. Ooh, so moody.
on Spotify, Apple,
Yeah,
all that
anywhere
stuff.
streaming. Yeah.
Sweet.
Check it out.
All right, boys, this was fun. Thank you guys very much for coming on and doing this.
For having
you.
us.
Thank you everyone for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Noah.
That was a lot of fun.